ARCA REMAX Series comes to Talladega Superspeedway. There's been no one stronger than Pennsylvanian Bobby Gerhart. Gerhart muscled his way to victory lane here in 2001. He was last year's pole sitter, although his bid for a second win ended when the 5-car suffered mechanical difficulties. Gerhart has muscled up and gone to victory lane twice, though, at Daytona, the only other superspeedway where restrictor plates are in vogue. Gerhart and his Pennsylvania-based team certainly are able to lift the weight necessary to win. Today, 40 other drivers will try to take on the challenge. For some, the weight might be too heavy to carry. Only one will be able to bench press his way to victory lane. The ARCA REMAX Series tackles Talladega next, here on Speed. And welcome to Talladega Superspeedway in Talladega, Alabama. It's the Food World 300 for the ARCA REMAX Series on Speed, the 20th race of the 22-race season here in 2003. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin, joined by two-time ARCA REMAX champ Bill Venturini. Winston Cup star Ken Schrader joining us today. Great to have these gentlemen along, and a day that really will go a long way, I think, toward determining not just the championship, but who ends up where in the top 10, the top 15 in the ARCA REMAX points. And Bill, this is a place where you still own the track record. Always fun to come to Talladega.
I got to tell you, we get goosebumps coming under the tunnel at this racetrack. Fast, intense, 2, 3 wide. You never lift. You don't know what to expect.
Now, this weekend, as we often see here, ARCA agitators, you might say, Winston Cup-related drivers and teams are going to run the field.
Yeah, there's a good 4 or 5 Winston Cup teams here. Well, you know, full-blown Winston Cup teams. The ARCA guys are looking forward, though, competing against them.
Now, Ken Schrader, you've got that 99 car. You own that number in ARCA here for Boris Said. Tell us about that.
Well, it's kind of co-op program there between MB2 and Schrader Racing. We're using our number, our crew chief, some of our guys, and trying to get Boris Said approved, NASCAR approval from the Super Speedway because he got the pole at Sonoma for the Winston Cup race, which made him eligible for the Bud Shootout come February down at Daytona. So we got to get him in front of NASCAR here and get his approval.
Now, you've been on the track a lot, including this morning. What's it like in Talladega this weekend?
A little stressful. Yeah. You know, when your spotter goes 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide, and then he's quiet. Then he goes 3 wide, and I go, wait, wasn't it 5 wide for a minute there? And he said, I didn't want to scare you. So he's a little stressful.
Well, we'll see a lot of that, I'm sure, here in the next couple of hours as we bring you coverage of the ARCA REMAX Series. Now, in that graphic a moment ago, you saw Kyle Busch's name. He's won a couple of ARCA REMAX Series starts. There's the 99 that Boris Said will steer in the field here today. Don Radebaugh standing by with our front row.
You know, the ARCA REMAX Series is all about diversity, and nothing could be more apparent than the front row here at Talladega Superspeedway. Kyle Busch, 18 years young on the pole, alongside the wily old veteran Bobby Gerhart with all the experience. Will that be your advantage here today?
Well, I don't know if it's an advantage. There's a whole lot of things, Don, that play into this thing. It ought to, quite frankly, be a whale of a race. We worked pretty hard over the weekend on a couple things, balance and fuel mileage. And if I had to pick an issue, that's going to be the deal today, I believe.
That's Bobby Gerhart, one of only 2 former Talladega winners in the race today, to Bob Dillner.
Don, we speak a lot about the ARCA agitators, but a couple of ARCA regulars are agitating themselves. A couple weeks ago in Salem, Indiana, that man, Shelby Howard, and the champ, Frank Kimmel, duked it out. Let's just say that Shelby went on to win the race, and Frank wound up with a wrecked race car. So, Frank, the big question is, you guys were pretty ticked off at each other. Is there still some sour grapes?
Oh, I don't know if it's sour or not, but it definitely left a bad taste in our mouths here at the Advanced Auto Parts team. And we got our great race car. Had a great race car at Salem. Was going on to the win. And, to get takeout intentionally, that's a pretty bad deal. And, we never like to see that happening. But this is Talladega, another weekend. We're going to try to get this Advanced Auto Parts forward up front and see the best we can do.
We were just talking about strategy, and you were saying, I don't know, maybe it's better off I hang in the back for a while. What about it?
Well, we got a lot of young guys up front, not just because they're young, just inexperienced, and they're going up to try to lead this race and lead the most laps and do everything that, when you come over here with Hendrick equipment and all the stuff they've got, they've got to lead the laps and win the race. And, that's okay, but it makes for some exciting things. Hopefully we can keep us forward up front with them all day.
Ironically, guys, Shelby and Frank start side by side, 15th and 16th. And, guys, there's a chance that Frank Kimmel could walk away from this race with another championship.
That would be his 5th, Bob Dillner. Interestingly, though, Kimmel's only led 2 laps in his long career here at Talladega. He's never won here. Let's take a look at the point standings. Kimmel with a substantial lead of 675 over Jason Jarrett. If he adds 100 points, 95 points to that, Bill Venturini, he's the champion here today.
You could pretty well say Frank Kimmel's got the race win. He's just got to show up the next couple races. And then second place, Jarrett, he's kind of comfortable there. But 3rd through 6th, real tight battle there. And then from 7th through 10th, another battle for those 4.
A lot at stake here at Talladega today. 300 miles, the longest race of the season for the ARCA REMAX Series as well. We'll be right back. Today's Speed Channel coverage of the ARCA REMAX Series is being brought to you by REMAX with outstanding agents, outstanding results. And by Gladiator Garage Works, a division of Whirlpool Corporation. Gladiator Garage Works, it is time to rethink the garage. Back at Talladega Superspeedway here on Speed, the ARCA REMAX Series. Cars are on the racetrack for their pace laps. Let's take a look at our starting grid for today's Food World 300. The REMAX starting grid reads like this. Rookie Kyle Busch is on pole in the Ditech Hendrick Chevrolet. The veteran Bobby Gerhart from Pennsylvania, the Core Mechanical Pontiac. Second row inside the 77, rookie David Stremme. That's the Coors Light Chip Ganassi Dodge. He's from South Bend, Indiana. And A.J. Hendrickson from Mooresville, North Carolina in the Fastenal Ford.
Starting 5th in number 25, Alabama Auto Show Pontiac, Billy Venturino out of Chicago. Next to him, Keith Seegers in the number 04 Miller Industries Chevrolet. Inside row 4, starting 7th, number 27, Chase Montgomery out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Next to him, Mark Thompson. Glad to see him back out of Georgia in the Reform Products Ford.
Row number 5 from Oklahoma, Christy Passmore, the Gap Roofing Ford. And Atlanta winner Mark Gibson, he's from Winder, Georgia, in the Williams Brothers Chevrolet. Row 6, Boris Sett out of San Marcos, California, driving the USG Pontiac with help from Schrader Racing this weekend. And Trans Am veteran Tony Ave from Indianapolis, the KDS Pontiac.
Inside row 7 and number 9, Eagle Creek Aviation Pontiac, Matt Hagens out of Indiana. Next to him, Jason Jarrett out of Hickory, North Carolina, and Gladiator Garage Works, Damon RV Pontiac. Glad to see him made the Winston Cup race.
Yes, sir.
Inside row 8, Frank Kimmel in the Advanced Auto Parts Pork the Other White Meat Ford. Next to him, Shelby Howard in the Mack Trucks Beck Dodge.
Row number 9, Brett Sherman from North Barrington, Illinois, the Serta Mattress Ford. And veteran Andy Belmont from Pendle, Pennsylvania, the Verizon Dodge today because he wadded up his Pontiac here yesterday. In the 10th row, Dan Shaver from Charlotte, that's the Petro Express Pontiac. Larry Hollenbeck is from Kalamazoo, Michigan, the SWAT Fitness number 10.
Inside row 11, and I get to do this again.
Yes,
and the number 23, Ron Cox out of Soddy Daisy.
Planned it that way.
We planned it, Soddy Daisy, Tennessee, 1-800 Surf Pro Pontiac. Next to him, Bill Eversole out of Chelsea, Michigan, in a Think Pink Energy Drink Chevrolet. Row 12, Vern Slaw in the number 65, DJ's One Stop Dodge. And next to him, Ken Weaver out of Dallas, Texas, in the 1-800-4-PHONE Chevrolet.
13th row, Keith Bird from Paducah, Kentucky, zone number 19, the Mertco Chevrolet. And Brack Maggard from Lithonia, Georgia, the Southern Van Services Pontiac. Row 14 from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, the Panasonic Chevrolet of C.W. Smith. And rookie Rick McMillian from Garrisonville, Virginia, the Sunshine Home Builders Ford.
Starting 29th on the inside of row 15, number 75, Brian Cons in the Precision Cutter Chevrolet. Next to him, Kim Crosby, the school principal out of Slidell, Louisiana, in the Golden Flake Chevrolet. Inside row 16, Roger Williams in the number 95, Roger Williams Racing Pontiac. Next to him, number 38, Greg Sarf in the Quaker Steak and Lube Ford.
Row 17, Darrell Basham's 34 car from Henryville, Indiana. That's a Chevrolet. And young Jason Hedleski from Michigan, the EMP Stewart Ford. That's the 90 car from Judy Donlevy's shops. The 18th row, Mike Buckley from Ann Arbor, Michigan, his own number 28, the StudiLand.com machine. And Dickie Williamson from Savannah, Georgia, the Southern Papers Ford.
Inside row 19, in the number 84, Tobin's RV Boat Cleaner Chevrolet, Norm Benning out of Pittsburgh. Next to him, Paul Menard out of Wisconsin in the Turtle Wax Monaco Coach Chevrolet. There's a guy to watch. Inside row 20, Chuck Weber out of Mesquite, Texas in the Excel Communications Chevrolet. Next to him, Jerry Middleton in the number 2, 1-800-SURPRO Chevrolet. And rounding out the field in our last provisional spot, Todd Bowser of Springfield, Ohio in the Gordon Food Service Marketplace Ford.
So 41 cars ready to go. We'll have a couple of different onboard looks for you. First, as always, from defending series champion Frank Kimmel, the Advanced Auto Parts Pork Ford. Kenny back in the 8th row. He's got his work cut out for him today.
Well, he does have his work cut out for him, and I thought it was interesting when you announced earlier that Frank's only led 2 laps at Talladega, not one of his stellar tracks, but closing in on his 5th championship, could lock it up today. There's a reason that he's got 5 of them, and he runs good here. He just hasn't been his favorite.
Like I told him, we're talking about it all week in the garage area. I said, you kick our butts 20 races out of the year. Give us 2.
Yeah, well, he's good.
Chase Montgomery carries our cameras too from the 7th starting spot. Several drivers making their first Talladega starts here today. We talked to some of them about what it's like to run here.
Patience. I'm going to learn a lot of drafting. I haven't been in the draft yet, so I'm hoping to learn as much as I can. and just be there at the end. You know, we got 300 miles to work our way up, and the Turtle Wax Chevy's going to do it.
Talladega Super Speedway is one of the biggest and fastest tracks that we got on the circuit, and it's one of the wildest ones too. So there's a bunch of good racing that can happen at this place, but also if you get out of hand just a little bit, it'll be pretty wild.
I have a healthy respect for the speed in the cars and the other competitors, but you can't be afraid.
Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, it's like running down the freeway till you get the draft going, and then it's just like a chess match. I mean, you're doing things, all the little stuff that helps out and trying to read the air, and it's pretty huge. But I've had a lot of help from Jamie and Sterling and Casey and again, the whole organization with this Coors Light Dodge.
Undescribable. I mean, I usually drive a BMW road racing, and you come here and it's just the first thing you think of is big. And it's so fast, it's like playing a game of checkers at 180 miles an hour. I mean, it's indescribable. It's great, though.
Morris Said scoring his first Winston Cup pole at Sonoma earlier this year. He'll steer that 99 car today. And Bob Dillner, David Stremme is a young driver with a lot of promise. We've seen a lot of him over the last couple of years, ready to take a big step up here today.
Oh, it is a big step, Rick, and he is ready for it. You heard him mention Sterling in that interview just a little while ago. Of course, he's mentioning Sterling Marlin, and that car that he is driving is one of Sterling Marlin's old cars. In fact, that car ran really well last year in the Bud Shootout. Now, David is just super excited to be here, super excited to get in the draft. The other day was his first time in the draft. He said he absolutely loves it. It's a lot of fun. What do you think, Schrader?
Well, it is a lot of fun, your first couple times. And that's when it's 2 wide and 3 wide. But you know, when you kind of move over to the Cup side, as this series is growing more and more too. Used to be this series didn't have 15 to 20 guys that were in that group. Now they do. The Cup side, we got 35 to 40 cars that are in that group. It gets a little more stressful as that group gets bigger.
Our race analysis, 41 cars, 300 miles, $267,000 up for grabs. And gentlemen, the weather, a little bit of an issue here. They said we had a window to get the race in. It is overcast, though, as we take a look at our weather update here today. The clouds starting to move in.
Well, yeah, we're good chance of rain, and this is the longest race we run, 300 miles, so it's going to be interesting.
Just need to get halfway +1, though, to make it official. Right?
Yeah, halfway will make it official. So, you know, they're doing a good job. Like as always, they're getting everything started off on time here. We'll be going green this time. As long as everybody keeps their nose clean, I think we'll get her all in.
This is when I have blood butterflies. Oh, my gosh, my stomach's doing flips.
Well, both of you have cars in the field here today. I'm the Lone Ranger here. Hopefully it'll be nice and clean, certainly fast, lots of fun. Safety car has the lights turned out. Remember that as they come through the tri-oval here at Talladega, it is a long way to the start-finish line.
Makes a big difference. There's a lot of races here where the leader at the middle of the tri-oval, like it is at Daytona, would not be the guy that winds up winning the race.
It's all a chess match here. The horsepower and the handling very much an issue, but aerodynamics certainly plays a big role. Green flag is in the air. Maybe there's a problem with the 87 car. You saw the number up on the board. We'll try to find out more. Gerhardt and Busch head toward turn 1. Don Radeball, what's wrong with the 87?
Well, I understand from the crew chief, Gary Dehart, that they have lost radio contact with the 87 car, and as a result, they very well may have to come down pit road. We'll keep an eye on it.
You don't want to be out here without radios, right, Ken?
No, you can't.
It's a safety factor, and that's one thing. We have spotters that are required. You have to be in radio contact. Most of the guys run 2 radios in their cars so they can switch if there's a problem, but it's something that's necessary anymore.
Kyle Busch in the 87, Gerhardt in the 5, hitting turn 3 for the first time. Chase Montgomery in the 27, looking like he wants to go down the middle as we jump on board that car.
Yeah, Chase is getting pretty racy right away. He split him right down the middle, going through the corner.
Heading to the tri-oval for the first of 113 laps at Talladega. They line up 2 by 2. That's David Stremme in the Coors Light 77 back there. A.J. Hendrickson in the 17, tucked right up behind Gerhardt.
A.J., you know, he had fastest time in happy hour, and Billy Venturini was second. I know those 2 guys had talked about hooking up together along with Chase Montgomery and Bobby Gerhardt.
Into turn 2, a little smoke showing from a car back there, 5th in line on the high side. That might be Brent Sherman's machine.
Yeah, that's actually more low smoke. It's probably, I'm guessing, a tire rub because it quit when they got on the straightaway, wouldn't you say, Bill?
Yeah, when you get into the corners right here, there is so much downforce on the cars that and your fenders are so close, it's usually tire rub.
But that's a severe enough tire rub that he's either going to have to come in or he will come in on the hook.
That's definitely a bad tire rub.
And here, that is not something you want to have happen because the speeds are so high. That is the Mark Thompson car. Thompson back with us in the 48 out of Cartersville, Georgia. New number, new team.
Well, yeah, he's running someone else's number right now. That's James Hilton's number, and this way he was guaranteed a starting spot. But he's always run good on the speedway, so but I did hear that he was going to retire again. But he's oh yeah, that's definitely a bad problem. That's more than tire smoke, I think. It happens only going into the corner though, Kenny.
Yeah.
Don Radebaugh, tell us more about pit road. What's going on down where you are?
Well, on the 87 car, Kyle Busch, he had no radio contact under the pace laps, but just as the green flag came out, he began to get his radio back. So I guess there is a God because Kyle Busch has a radio. He's full and up and at him.
Busch sitting there in third spot. He is the first car on the bottom line. Bobby Gerhart is your leader. A.J. Hendrickson and Chase Montgomery giving chase. That's Keith Seegers there in the 04. Won this race a year ago. That's a Morgan McClure car.
Yep, that's a Morgan McClure car, and he did win. And right now, he's going on the outside to go around Chase Montgomery.
It's also one of the oldest body styles in the field, I believe. It's like a
99 Monte Carlo, but the 99 Monte Carlo is a good body style.
Well, it's real good with the new rules. It actually maybe favors one of those cars for Daytona and Talladega.
Well, the way the ARCA rules were written, that actually the beneficial car for this rules was the Pontiac.
Yeah.
But before we got here this month, they changed the rules for the Pontiac spoilers and made the Pontiacs add another quarter-inch to the spoilers.
Top three are nose to tail, but they're three wide behind in the draft at Talladega. Riding with Frank Kimmel alongside Shelby Howard. Kimmel up to 14th right now.
Yeah, Kimmel has a good view of that smoke.
Of that tire rubber.
Yeah. That'll get your attention, let me tell you.
Kimmel with Shelby Howard right alongside. Remember last time we were with you from Salem in Indiana a couple of Saturday nights ago, those two put on quite a battle. Kimmel and Howard got together. Kimmel ended up in the wall. Howard ended up in victory lane. And there's been kind of a war of words between those two drivers in the last 2 weeks. So having them line up alongside each other certainly sets up the possibility for some drama here today.
We see that pack right there, which I don't know. That's probably a good 20 cars. That's what we did not used to see.
See, you never saw that in ARCA before. You're right, Kenny.
You might not want to see this if we had a little bit a couple minutes ago in that pack, but now that pack, there's so many more cars that run in that pack that that's how much more competitive it's become.
Riding with Chase Montgomery, who sits back there in 6th position. Bobby Gerhart leads. A.J. Hendrickson is second. We're early in the going. 4 laps complete at Talladega. Back on speed, the Food World 300, the ARCA Remax Series. Bill Venturini, Ken Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin. Watching the leaders battle down the back straightaway. Frank Kimmel in the 46. Actually, not a leader. He's been shuffled back to 17th. He's back there with Ron Cox and some drivers he's not very familiar with racing near. With Bobby Gerhart, who's so good at these restrictor plate events. Keith Seegers in second. Chase Montgomery will one Daytona third. And here comes David Stremme with Kyle Busch to the bottom.
These guys, they don't learn. You got to run. You got to stay in line. Keep jumping out of line. It just pushes everybody back. He's got to get used to drafting with somebody in front of him or behind him to make something happen.
Billy Venturini there in the blue number 25 trying to make a move to the outside. If he and Kyle Busch want to get together, Bill, they're close together on the racetrack. He's not quite there yet.
No, I know what kind of help Billy Venturini needs to go fast here, and he needs a Pontiac in front of him, I think.
Chase Montgomery rides third. There's Billy Venturini's 25 car on the high side. Right now the quick cars are at the bottom of the racetrack. Turn for Bob Dillner, 67 machine. Jason Jarrett's car. What's the situation?
Some big-time trouble for Jason Jarrett. He started 14th. He is all the way back in the 38th spot, and that is because he and another car out there got together. Some big-time damage on the left front of that car, and they also think they have a tire rub, so he has lost the lead draft, and that can have some big ramifications in the title chase. Maybe, just maybe, be able to crown Frank Kimmel the champ here today.
Left front fender pretty wrinkled up on that Pontiac.
Yeah, left front fender was wrinkled up, and it really takes the speed out of it is that front valence, how high that was instead of being right on the ground.
Chase Montgomery on the high side, rolling by Bobby Gerhart for the point. First lead change of the day, and here comes Stremme in that Dodge right behind him. Watching from the 27 car, Stremme in that Coors Light Dodge. One car off the pace, Dickie Williamson's Ford at the bottom of the racetrack.
Looks pretty simple from that view.
Yeah.
Just like riding down I-85, right?
It is until something happens, you got complete control until you lose control, then you got no control.
Let's talk strategy for a second, guys. 113 laps, 300 miles. Weather could be a factor. How many stops do you need today, Bill Venturini?
Well, you need 2 stops. I don't think anyone can go, what is it, 57 laps? I don't think you can go 57 laps on 1 fuel stop. So it's going to be a 2-stop race.
Tires, Kenny?
I didn't really check the tires. I know this race has been won.
Oh, trouble coming off turn 2. Daryl Basham in the 34 has gotten into the wall. He's wrinkled up both ends of that Chevrolet. Will go to caution for the first time of the day in the Food World 300. All alone out of 2. Basham stops on that paved section that they put in here in the last several years.
Yeah, that paved section is good.
It slows the cars down, scrubs off a lot of speed.
Basham got loose going through turn 2, got into the outside wall, came down across the track and has stopped. And we are under caution with 9 laps on the board of 113 today. Have another look at it here as the leaders ease off going into the banking. Take a look down from turn 2.
You kind of hate to guess, but from the way that thing came into view and then looking at the right rear quarter panel, we might have had a flat right rear, and it went ahead and blew out, ripped the quarter panel off, and threw him sideways into the wall.
Because that car, there was skid marks coming off the car before he even hit the wall. Oh, yeah. It looked like he blew a tire.
He was lucky that got turned around enough to not hit flat driver's side.
Okay, so there were pieces of rubber bouncing down the track, and the right rear tire certainly is torn up. As you said, Kenny, it didn't look like there was any. He didn't hit anything with the rear of the car.
Right. That's one neat thing about here. It doesn't have to be rubber to bounce down track. It can be heavy steel, and it still bounces for a ways.
At 188 miles an hour, that will happen. Absolutely. On board with Frank Kimmel under caution. A little early to make a stop?
Definitely. We only got 9 laps done. Nah, you don't pit yet.
Let's get an update from pit road. Bob Dillman.
Well, I heard you guys speaking of pit strategy, and listen to this, Venturi. This is something pretty interesting. I spoke to Frank Kimmel before the race, and I said, Frank, this is a 2-stop race, right? He said, maybe not. This may be a strategy race. He says if he can get the cautions the way he wants them, he may only have to pit once, and that would be big time for him because he could stay out there in front of all the rest of the guys.
Well, they are good on fuel mileage with that Taurus.
They're going to have to be real good.
Yeah.
One thing you can't count on is you can't count on getting that yellow when you need that yellow. So,
working on the 34, Daryl Basham off of turn 2. First caution of the day. Chase Montgomery is our race leader. Right behind him, the 77 of David Stremme. Back on Speed from Talladega. Huge weekend of live motorsports for us on Speed tomorrow. Coverage of the United States Grand Prix at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Had a chance to go over there yesterday and watch those guys qualify. Unbelievable sight. 1:30 Eastern for live coverage. Rick DeBrule, David Hobbs, Steve Matchett, and the boys will have all the action from Indianapolis tomorrow. One of the great stories here this weekend, young Paul Menard driving for Andy Petrie. Had to start deep in the field, 38th. Guys, he's 8th after just 12 laps.
I can't believe that.
That car's a rocket ship.
He was 8th in 9 laps because that's when the yellow came out.
Yeah, well, that Menard's Turtle Wax car, Andy Petrie's whole operation, they're extremely good super speedway program. We sat on the pole here with Andy for the Cup race, and he really takes these serious. I mean, we need to tell why he started at the back too. They were on the pole, and had a little problem with inspection, about a quarter inch. I heard.
Yeah, a good quarter inch.
Good quarter inch.
Bob Dildinger with Andy Petrie.
Yes, I am, Andy. The kid is turning in a hell of a run right now. What are you doing to tell him to coach him through that?
Well, we talked about it a lot before the race by starting in the back. We kind of handicapped him on Thursday a little bit there. It was a mistake on my part, but he's doing a great job. He's continuing to impress me every time he's been behind the wheel, and he looks like he's been doing this for years, really. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed, hope the thing will stay under him, and we won't have any trouble and maybe get the win here.
Paul Menard looking pretty good. And, guys, so much for Frank Kimmel's strategy. He has come down pit road. He will have to stop twice now, but he did come down, and he is playing the strategy game, came down and topped off that fuel tank.
Safety car headed in. Bill, we've seen him do this before.
Yeah, but he's made it now for him a one-stop race.
Additional stop.
Well, one stop from here, where everyone else on the racetrack, I still feel, has to do 2.
They'll put lap 13 on the board. Coming up through the gears, Andy Belmont on the bottom of the racetrack in trouble. A car has gone around, the 49 car. That's the car out of Charlotte. The Petro Express Pontiac has hit the wall and has stopped down on the grass, so we will not go green this time by. Dan Shaver from Charlotte. The green is
they have to throw the green, but they should get the yellow. I mean, The green should be out, and then the yellow should come out.
Safety cars coming back out. Vern Slaw in the 65, apparently with contact with Shaver. Slaw's car at the bottom of the track going by our location. There you can see that Dodge low on the apron. He's got front end damage, and the caution is waving once again. So we go immediately back to yellow. Montgomery on the backside of the racetrack. Let's take a look as they came through the tri-oval, coming up through the gears, and there's the contact. That's Vern Slaw's machine.
Vern Slaw, oh man, Vern Slaw got into the 49 of Dan Shaver, who then bounced back off to the 65 of Vern Slaw, and then Vern got into the 44 of Brent Sherman.
There was another car involved. There was another red car at the bottom of the racetrack, and I couldn't pick up the number. Here comes Shaver to pit road. He's got the front end badly knocked out on that car. They're going to have to do some extensive work there. Working on the right front corner of the car, trying to pull the sheet metal out. We've seen this movie before here at Talladega.
Yeah.
In fact, 1 year ago, and it was Ken Schrader's car that was involved. Let's take a look at this incident from 1 year ago. As the field came through the tri-oval, Keith Seeger's on the high side here, and Michael Verger's driving your car.
Michael Verger's was a little over-aggressive and running the back of Chase, and we were involved. Chase was committed. He was the one committed, but boy, I hated that for him. But it's restarts. You wouldn't think they'd be that complicated, but it just everybody's ready to go. You kind of hang back a little bit. It's tough.
That was last year. Chase he had a car to beat last year, but that's racing.
And Michael Vergers isn't driving your car this year here.
No, that's not why. I'm sure. But that happened to me here. That happened to me at Daytona.
Yeah, we've seen that.
I was running second,
Sure.
and I got punted by the guy behind me, like with 10 laps to go. So, yeah, it happens.
So the field is under caution. That contact coming through the tri-oval. And here, Kenny, is it different because the start-finish line is at the end of pit road at the entrance to turn one? Does that promote that sort of thing sometimes?
Well, I think it compounds it just a little bit because it just gives you that much more time to think about how you're going to get this good restart. And we got 2 yellows in a row that are a good break for Jason Jarrett to work on that left front fender. But now this makes me think that they got some other issues.
Because they're inside the car.
To be inside the car.
As you mentioned, Bill Venturini, he makes his first Winston Cup start tomorrow in a Robert Yates Ford, 25th spot.
Glad to see it for him.
Saw the 49 of Shaver. They've taken that car behind the wall. He was able to drive it behind the wall. Here comes Vern Slaw, also back down pit road in the 65 car. Slaw with heavy damage to the right front corner of that car, the victim of that contact with the 49 of Shaver. And there was a third car in the mix there, too. DJ's one-stop Dodge slow. Here's Jason Jarrett getting back up to speed.
Oh, I was going to show you, with that front-end shot of Jason Jarrett's car, you can see the car sitting level on pit road. If we can get a shot next time, I'll try to highlight. Right here.
Use the telestrator.
Yeah, right there. See that down on the bottom? Notice how high up that left front valance is on the car. It's not supposed to be there. Right, the whole nose is twisted on this race car.
So he may come in again and then try to do some additional work on that car. That's the Gladiator Garage Works Pontiac. Second in points, Jason Jarrett. Still under caution. We'll be back at Talladega. Back on speed with coverage of the ARCA Remax Series. It's the Food World 300. Under caution, we've had a little difficulty getting some restarts accomplished here. Let's take a look at why we went immediately back to yellow a moment ago. This is as the cars came through the tri-oval. Matt Hagan's in car number 9. Dan Shaver in the 49. Vern Slaw in the 65. All getting together.
See where I put that X right there?
X marks the spot.
X marks the spot. Dan Shaver started to accelerate before the car in front of him did, and when he realized he was going to run into him, he swerved down to the inside. Then when he slowed up, he was going to come back up, and the guys behind him ran into the back. Look at now.
Tire donut and more on the 27 car. That's leader Chase Montgomery. Andy Belmont apparently trying to get by him through the tri-oval. Can't race back to the caution, Ken Schrader. Look at this.
Yeah, well, can't race back and get your lap back, but even though Andy wants it, and I believe there was a little controversy at Winchester a couple races ago.
Andy had a few words about Chase Montgomery.
Montgomery was, they were all racing for a top 5 spot at the end of the 200 lapper at Winchester, and Andy had some harsh words to say about Chase Montgomery, who flipped Bob Dillner.
Well, Keith Padson is the crew chief for Chase Montgomery. Tell me what happened there.
I don't know. It seems like Talladega, we can't catch a break. I'm not sure really what happened. We have to see the tape. I don't want to criticize Andy. He's a good driver and all. Maybe a little hard feelings from Winchester. I'm not sure. I hated to see it. Such a good race car, and we'll see here. I need to get my headset on and watch and see if we have any smoke. But appreciate Speed Channel and ARCA and everything they do for us.
Well, Rick, maybe, just maybe, you were right.
You're a lot better off to say I don't know than say hell, we ran into him.
Green is back in the air. 18 laps going on the board of 113 today. Montgomery up through the gearbox and then Red Pontiac. David Stremme is second in line in the Coors Light Dodge. Third to Kyle Busch in the 87. And Boris Said has maneuvered his way up to fourth in that USG car, the 99. That's the one of Belmont on the bottom. He's a lap down. He was trying to get his lap back. Doesn't quite have enough muscle. That is a Vern Slaw Dodge after they wrecked the Pontiac.
After they wrecked the Pontiac in Happy Hour. It was Happy Hour. He wrecked it and had to go to backup car, and Vern Slaw had one and gave it to him.
7th to 1st for Chase Montgomery, the Daytona winner. Kenny, doesn't seem as though it's affected his car.
No, it's when you hit the front of that car and that rear spoiler are the most critical. You can kind of hickey up the sides a little bit, which he got his tire donut in front of his left rear tire. Sides aren't that critical, so it shouldn't make a big factor.
What'd you call that? Hickey up?
Hickey up.
Yeah,
that's
hickeyed up.
Is that a Missouri expression?
Yeah, it's just hickeyed up. It's not all tore up. It's just hickeyed up.
Gotcha. I think I understand. All right. Montgomery leads.
We got a little mark here and there.
I see. Oh, a couple of cars down through the grass as they come through the tri-oval. Plowing up some of the grass. That's the 80 car, Stan Hoover's Ford. That's Rick McMillian from Virginia. He gets it back up on the banking.
Jason Jarrett comes down pit road.
Sometimes pit road is a man's best friend here in that situation. We stay green. McMillian off the pace, but back up on the bank.
So 84 of Norm Benning was involved in that also.
Looks like Norm Benning's got a cut tire as he rolls down into turn 1. On board with Frank Kimmel. 4-time series champion in line for his 5th. He is back in 23rd after stopping under caution for fuel. Leaders out of turn 4. Let's take a look from Frank Kimmel's vantage point. A little skirmish here in the trial. Well, 4 wide.
Oh, yeah. They're beating and banging, all right.
That's Benning, I think, that was crossed up there.
Yeah. Now, this is one thing that Frank really rolls the dice by going to the back this early.
Benning got into the 83 car.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Norm was on top of that steering wheel to keep that thing gathered up.
Norm had cut a tire there. He's cut a tire. I don't know if he got it before that or from right there from slamming on the brakes.
We are when we come out of this replay, we'll be back on yellow from this incident.
Caution is waving.
Well, that's because Norm Benning's car is like still on the apron in the middle of coming off a 2 right now.
You can see Norm's left front tire cut there. Norm is
so's his right front.
Okay, he's got a lot of issues going on. Norm, Jason Jarrett, and Ron Cox are all within 20 points for the Bill France Triple Crown Award.
Yeah. And this is one of the races.
And this is one of the races, and I think that counts this race, Salem, and Springfield.
Yeah, one of the dirt races.
And you can see Norm's talent on dirt to keep that car gathered up.
Yeah. He was in the top 5 at
2 races, 2 dirt races, finished 4th and 5th. You got it.
Back under caution, 21 laps of 113 are complete. Still Chase Montgomery leading. David Stremme has taken that Coors Light Dodge out of the Chip Ganassi shops up to 2nd. Kyle Busch in the Dytek Chevrolet. We have seen Kyle Busch wax the field a couple of times this year, Bill Venturini. Here, their advantage is not nearly as pronounced.
No, the ARCA guys, there's a few ARCA guys that have done their homework on the super speedways. And you would think the Winston Cup guys would come here and really with their money would show a lot, but the way the rules are here and they're so strict with them, it makes it, I think, kind of it equals it out.
It really does. They've got a good set of rules here, where you got to have slick bodies, you got to have good engines, but that's what you got to have. And ARCA team's got those too. There's a lot of trick stuff that we can do on the Cup side that's not allowed over here, which doesn't need to be allowed over here, and that's why we see Bobby Gerhart and A.J. Hendrickson and Billy Venturini and Keith Seegers. It's good, solid ARCA. Keith Seegers got some Winston Cup help there, but the other one's good ARCA teams that run right with the Cup teams.
Let's get an update on the 87 team. Don Radebaugh.
Let's do that, and by doing that, let's talk to Gary Dehart, the crew chief, your driver, first time ever in a restrictor plate race. How's it going so far?
He's doing real good, really. He's listening pretty good. He's just learning right now.
He's behaving, huh?
Oh yeah, he's behaving. He's learning a lot right now. If we can run all 113 laps today, whether we win, lose, or draw, we get a lot of experience for him, and that's what we want.
Tell me about the car. Is it working okay? Does it need any adjustments?
Well, I guess it's working okay, but I wish it was leading. But third's not bad right now.
All right, that's Gary Dehart, former champion crew chief for Terry Labonte in the Winston Cup Series.
As we work toward lap 22, still very early, plenty of time for the 87 team to try to find their way back to the front of the Food World 300. We're still under caution. We'll be right back. Welcome back on Speed with Ken Schrader and Bill Venturini. I'm Rick Benjamin. Coverage of the ARCA RE/MAX Series, the 20th race of 22 that'll make up the 2003 calendar for the ARCA RE/MAX Stars. It's been a long year, Bill Venturini, for your race team.
Very long year. You know, we had that one stretch of 3 races in 8 days, and we haven't had a week. Well, we had a weekend off because South Boston got delayed because of the hurricane, but you know, that all that did was extend our season 1 week longer because now we have to go there after the Charlotte race. So, yeah, you know, we've got a full schedule for the ARCA guys. And first, you know, an ARCA team that doesn't have 20 full-time employees, it's been a rough year.
Chase Montgomery is your restart pole sitter in that red number 27. That's Andy Belmont in the blue number 1 on the bottom. Still trying to get his lap back. David Stremme restarts in second spot. Kyle Busch is third. Green back in the air to put lap 23 on the board. Never seen a race here at Talladega. It does take a little while for these restrictor plate motors to get wound up and the speeds to pick back up.
Takes about a whole lap.
Montgomery up on the high bank. Stremme tucking in behind him. Kyle Busch, you've got 3 young guns up there. Now, Montgomery won at Daytona, but not a lot of restrictor plate and big track experience up front. A.J. Hendrickson up there in 4th.
No, but a lot of good young racers, you know, and they'll figure out how to do this quick enough, and they're aligned with enough experienced people to help them that they'll get it figured out quick.
Let me give credit where credit's due. Billy Venturini to put the 25 car up in 4th in front of Hendrickson.
Well, thank you.
I can't count, believe it or not. Leaders hauling back to the front of this 2.66 mile super speedway built back in the 60s.
Yeah, and after, you know, I've been coming here since the mid-70s, late 70s, and you know, you look at all the patchwork they've done at this racetrack, all of those black lines, that's all tar poured on the cracks of the racetrack. And you wonder, well, why don't they repave this thing? I think if they repaved it, it'd be so much faster. I don't know what they'd do.
Yeah, I know it's been talked about. I think it's actually, I heard it was scheduled to get paved maybe next year or something. We kind of hate to see it. You know, it's all right the way it is. I mean, Daytona grip is really an issue. Here it's not. But if they want to repave it, have at it.
Paul Menard in the 26 trying to close in and grab hold of that front draft. And Bob Dillon, we hear there might be an issue with the 26 car. What's going on?
That's what Mark Gibson's crew is saying. They came down on pit road during that last caution period, but it wasn't a scheduled stop. They came down to clean the windshield. You can see these paper towels just covered with oil, which they say is coming from the number 26 car.
Now Mark Gibson shuffled back to 27th spot. An uncharacteristic place for him to be. That is a good speedway team.
Well, you know, if you can't see out of your windshield here, you got to come in and clean it.
Gibson won, of course, in Atlanta back in the spring. Has DEI motors in that car, so you'd certainly think that they would be a contender here today. Watching the leaders move up on Chuck Weber's car. There's Hendrickson in the 17, Menard in the 26. No sign, Kenny, that the 26 car's got any motor problems.
No, you know, but you don't have to have an engine problem
to have an oil
leak. So, and you're talking possible transmission, rear end, or engine. So there's no telling if they do have an issue or not.
Well, one of the drivers we certainly expected to be up toward the front today, Bobby Gerhart, started on the front row. Don Radebaugh, they have not had a trouble-free day so far.
With Billy Gerhart, crew chief, Bobby's brother, you guys made a pit stop out of sequence with the front runners. Was that pre-planned strategy?
Yeah, that was our strategy right from the beginning, Don, and we decided to stick with it. We had a little hole in the nose of the car from some debris. We decided to patch that, come in and get left side tires, and one more caution after this, we'll be good to go home.
Well, Bobby said to me earlier they were going to two-tire him to death. Their tire issue, not a big deal here. He also said that they could stretch their fuel mileage to 60 laps. Bill Venturini, is that possible?
He told me that, and I know we can't go 60 laps. We can't go 55 laps, so, you know, I don't know.
The guy who's going to the front as we ride with leader Chase Montgomery is Paul Menard in that Andy Petrie Chevrolet, the 26. He's moved his way up to third, Kenny.
Yeah, he's running off for good. You know, if there is an oil issue problem on this, we ought to hear pretty quick, because the more cars you pass, you know, usually like if you think you got an oil leak, and there's 8 cars in the group, you kind of want to hang around 8th so no one's complaining about the oil.
Yeah, well, we'll know right away if Billy Van Ernie starts to complain because he's running behind the 26 car.
Keith Seeger's up on the high side of that yellow 04 car. He won here a year ago. He's paired up in the draft with another machine, trying to move up from 7th. There's Menard in 3rd. David Stremme rolling into 2nd spot in that Chip Ganassi Dodge with a Coors Light backing on that car. Venturini back there in 4th spot. A.J. Hendrickson in the white car rides 5th. 6th belongs to the 87. Kyle Busch has gotten shuffled back a little. Here he comes on the high side.
Well, we get Paul is not content to run 3rd.
Yeah, I see that.
And it's got to be a very strong car to be able to pull out and do what he's doing right now. And that, he doesn't have the help like David Stremme does with Billy behind him, but he's hanging right there, so we'll just have to see.
Kyle Busch and Keith Seegers are back on that outside line. I think they were trying to get up and go with the car. Paul Menard can't get there.
They can't get there yet, but that back straightaway sometimes will equalize things up, and it'll let Busch and the 4 car get up to him.
Now you've coached your son on these big tracks, Bill. You did a great job on the bottom, 3rd in line behind the leader.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
That's not what I asked you.
I don't, I'm not on the other end of the radio to listen and seeing how the car's handling. Is the car tight or is the car loose? But, right now, you better hope the car's not too tight. Because as you get around...
Oh, trouble. Mark Gibson in the wall. That's the 59 car. He has gotten in the wall up in turn 4 from the look of things. And we will go to yellow once again. The caution is waving on the speedway. Gibson and Bobby Gerhart, who started on the front row alongside pole sitter Kyle Busch. The Core Mechanical Pontiac out of Pennsylvania from Lebanon, PA, has gotten in the wall as well.
This is what I was talking about before when Frank Kimmel put himself in the back and missed that one.
Right.
When all the leaders pit together, they all come out together, and they basically, you start in the front, you stay in the front. But when you pit off sequence like that, you run the dice.
This is the chance.
Roll the dice, something happening.
Brian Kahns in the brand new 75. It's a beautiful new body Chevrolet for that team. They're in trouble as well. Take a look through 3 here.
Oh, hard to see already. Gerhardt's already spinning, and Mark was inside of him.
So Brian Kahns was on the bottom of the track. He was crossed up when they went through our frame there. Gerhart was sideways, and Mark Gibson piled into him. Safety crew over talking to Bobby Gerhart in the 5 car. Taking a look to see if the hood of that car needs to be pulled away. I see a little bit of flame licking out around the cowl there of the 5, so they want to get the hood off. Bobby coming out of the car with his cap on. He's okay. But at these speeds, Kenny, when you hit the wall, you're sore for a while.
Yeah, and it all depends on that angle that you hit. But still, when you're 10 feet from it and you just glance up off it, it's just hard to hit things at 180 mile an hour and not leave a mark.
It's hard to hit anything concrete.
Yeah. Brian Kahns climbing out of the 75. There's heavy front end damage to that beautiful new Chevrolet. I had a chance to talk to Brian briefly in the garage this morning. They're really pleased about that new car. Really good looking machine.
Well, and it will be next time they bring it out.
Bobby Gerhart walking back. He'll make a ride to the infield care center, no doubt. The Hans device.
The Hans device that's hooked to his helmet really has made a big improvement.
Take another look here at what happened in turn 3. That's Gerhart in the white car sideways. Jason Hedleski in the 90 there going by sideways as well. Mark Gibson, pretty hard impact with Gerhart.
Yeah, Matt Hagens almost got involved in it. Just snuck through on the bottom.
Everybody reeling him in and stopping down on the apron there before more trouble could ensue. But we are back under caution here at Talladega Super Speedway. Chase Montgomery has been the leader for a good long time now, and he remains out in front. 77 of Stremme, 26 of Paul Menard, Kyle Busch in the 87, Billy Venturini in the 25 car are your top 5. 30 laps of 113 are complete. Chase Montgomery's done a heck of a job so far.
Yeah, and do you pit? I'd have to say I'd pit now, and then you've got one more pit stop for the rest of the race.
I think it'd be a good time to pit for sure. And it looks like most all the leaders. Little fake there.
Chase Montgomery says he'll stay out. Stremme comes down pit road. Do you need tires after 30 laps, Ken?
Well, you don't, but you're for sure at least halfway through your fuel window. And what Chase has done now is he's put himself in that position where he'll be vulnerable when he does pit.
He'll be with health come through the field.
All right, with Paul Menard, Bob Dillner.
Paul Menard is on pit road with the Turtle Wax car. 2 tires, right sides, a lot of fuel going in that car. And guys, they did admit that they were leaking a little bit of oil. They think they filled it up just a little too much and it was coming out the overflow. Don?
Kyle Busch was also on pit road. He took 2 outside tires and a full can of fuel. No adjustments necessary. The car was working perfect. The 17 car of A.J. Hendrickson also on pit road. He took a 4-tire stop, all 4 corners, and a fresh load of fuel.
A.J. Hendrickson had been running up in the top 5, being shown now up in 18th spot as the field cycles through the pit stops. All of that will change, of course, before we line up again to go green. Kimmel on pit road, Venturini on pit road, Kyle Busch in the 87 car, Keith Mert has been on pit road, and a host of others taking the opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have put on 4 tires right now. I think I would have probably either just done either a gas and go or 2 right side tires. But, you know, I noticed the 17 car took on 4 tires, the 25 car took on 4 tires. I don't think I would have done that.
Let's take another look at the move by Chase Montgomery. Kenny, why would you throw the fake here in this situation?
Well, you know, I think everyone's got their own plan. I don't think Chase convinced them to pit. I think Chase made the wrong move. But we'll have to see how it comes and works back out.
Hey, I agree with you, Kenny. I think you know, seeing everyone's pitted now's when you need to pit, because when he pits, or if he's going to pit out of sequence, he's going to have to pit out of sequence.
Well, we'll see if he comes down pit road next time. It'll take a while, a couple of more laps probably to clean things up in turn 3 and 4, where that 3-car skirmish took place. Brian Kahns, Bobby Gerhart, and Mark Gibson. 31 laps complete. We'll be back at Talladega. Back on speed, our coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series continues next Saturday afternoon, 4:30 Eastern, from South Boston Speedway up in Virginia. The NASCAR Craftsman Trucks at 4:30 next Saturday. Be with us for all the action on a very tight but always fun racetrack, the little 0.4 of a mile, South Boston Speedway.
You said that right. Tight but fun.
You know, there's a track that I grew up at in Connecticut that doesn't exist anymore, where once upon a time they raced boats, and it reminds me of South Boston because of the trough effect. You got those fences around.
Fences around, yep.
Both ways. They used to flood the Danbury Fairgrounds many years ago and run boats there.
They did it at Seekonk, Massachusetts, too.
Yeah.
Ran boats there. The Cement Palace.
Cement Palace.
Yep.
That's right, exactly. That is a place where you get dizzy very easily on that quarter mile. Getting ready to go back to green. Chase Montgomery will be the restart pole sitter. Right behind him, the 66 car making its first showing up toward the front here today. Frank Kimmel, the series points leader, 4-time champion, on the verge of clinching his 5th. Lines up back in 21st. You were critical of his strategy for stopping earlier, starting to make his way back toward the front.
Well, he had to pit again. He pitted on this yellow flag sequence. He pitted again. So that, you know, one stop strategy was, or 2-stop is out the window.
It wasn't critical. We just called bull on that because we didn't think that was going to happen.
Now that 66 car, third in line here behind Andy Belmont, who is not on the lead lap as yet. He's one down. That's Tony Ave, the Trans Am veteran, one of the most... Kenny Schrader, you're a guy who loves to drive everything with wheels. He's won a race this year in a Ford Focus Midget. He's a Trans Am veteran. He ran third at Phoenix in an Infiniti Pro Series car. Here he is in an ARCA car.
That is quite a wide variety of cars there to be able to accomplish that.
Ave had a great run last year. We were at Chicagoland.
Yep.
Back underway. Everybody safely away. Montgomery opens up a good advantage. That's Belmont in the blue Dodge in second. Not on the lead lap. Ave in the yellow car is next in line. And the 48 car, Mark Thompson, steering that car out of Cartersville, Georgia. He shows third. All this pit strategy and tires and where you stopped and when you stopped.
I don't think 4-tire pit stop on that last sequence was the right call.
Montgomery all alone in the banking. We've had an action-filled first 35 laps of this 300-miler today. Coming to the tri-oval, there's Montgomery. Belmont desperately trying to get around him and get back on the lead lap. And these two have some history. At Winchester, they were battling for position with 2 to go. Montgomery got wrapped up in an incident and went upside down. Belmont had some unkind things to say. Belmont trying to get by. Tried to do it earlier, and Chase wouldn't let him by. Side by side, a little further back. Kyle Busch in the 87 trying to move up. He's back in 7th spot. Right behind him, there's Boris Said in your 99 car. Mr. Schrader's doing a nice job.
He's doing a nice job, except Boris his main goal was to run all day and get some laps, and we were fortunate that USG Sheetrock signed on for this race and enabled us to do it.
Top 5 cars on the racetrack, at least, have broken away. There's Ave. Getting shuffled back there. Check that, I'm sorry, that is not Tony Ave. The yellow Chevrolet back there is the 96. That's Ken Weaver out of Dallas. There's Stremme in that silver Dodge. They're 3 wide here down into turn 1. Kyle Busch at the bottom. Stremme's got a strong enough car to run on the high side all by himself. Bob Dillner and Bobby Gerhart okay out of the infield care center. That's good news.
Yeah, that is good news, but this car is not okay. This car is destroyed on the left side. Bobby Gerhart, you took a big hit up there, but the big question is what happened?
Well, I believe crashed before that. There was a lot of debris on the front stretch for 4 or 5 laps, and I complained on the radio about us running through some things. But you know, sometimes the tire will be slow. We had one Daytona. It took about 20 laps to go down, and I pretty much think that's what happened here. I mean, we went 3 wide down the backstretch, and I dove to the outside, and you can't spin a car out here on the outside if you try. And it just jumped left real quick and turned around in front of Mark. I hate that. It's just really not too much I could do.
Tough day for Bobby Gerhart. He thought he had a lot of muscle today for this race.
He was hoping to bench press that trophy at Victory Lane at the end of the day, but his bid will come up short. Chase Montgomery, despite that incident where he ran into Andy Belmont earlier under caution, still out in front. There comes A.J. Hendrickson and Billy Venturini trying to hook up on the high side. Jump on board with the series champion Kimmel on the bottom as they go 3 wide. Set in the middle. Now, in Boris's defense, Kenny, he's got some Truck Series experience on big tracks, just not here.
Right. Boris has just not run at Super Speedway. He's run a lot of the 1.5 miles and stuff, but before they take you to the Winston Cup or Busch Deal or even the ARCA races, they want to see you at the other places. Being there was no other place for him to run a Super Speedway before Daytona.
This was the last chance that he had to run a Super Speedway race before he gets to Daytona, and this was the race he had to be in.
Well, it's really good that ARCA and NASCAR work together so much hand in hand to get some guys some experience.
How about Christy Passmore there in the white and orange Ford, the number 91, the rookie out of Oklahoma, 19 years of age. She's on the high side. She's running up there in 4th, Bill Venturini.
Yeah, I don't know if she pitted or not, but she's doing a good job right now.
On the outside of Mark Thompson in the 48. Here comes Stremme. He'll go 3 wide, and Christie has no one to draft with. Keith Seegers tucks in behind Stremme. Closing in on lap 40 at Talladega. Montgomery is your leader. Welcome back on Speed. It's the Food World 300 for the ARCA RE/MAX Series. Paul Menard in the 26. Several pit stops to try to cure that oil leak. Being shown 15th last time by. Working with Ron Cox there in the 23 car out of Tennessee, who's 13th as they are side by side heading to the Tri-Oval. Your leader's Montgomery, and here comes Stremme. Looks like he's got by Tony Ave for second.
Stremme's definitely been strong. I think we're going to... Well, he's got some momentum up here, but...
How much do you mirror drive here, Kenny? How much do you try to block?
Oh, you try not to. Nah, you try to mirror block every lap.
Yeah, you block as much as you can. And then there's some times that you don't need to worry about it because it's just too early in the race. But, if you're leading that thing, there's a whole lot less chance of getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to be.
Keith Seegers in that yellow 04 from the Morgan McClure shops going for second. He won this race a year ago. He's side by side with Stremme. A.J. Hendrickson on the high side of that white 17. Billy Venturini at the bottom of the racetrack with Boris Said right now behind the 77 car. In front of Kyle Busch in the Ditech car, the black 87.
And this is what Chase Montgomery wants to see. He wants to see these 6 guys just, battling back and forth. Man, look at this window.
Water, looks like, on the onboard camera lens.
Yeah, that's probably oil. Because if it was water, it'd be blown off already.
True.
Looks like A.J. Hendrickson is slowing down.
Maybe that's where the water or the moisture came from. We get word that there may be a car that's brushed the wall on the way by. Now we're getting a big pack back there in the backstretch as Stremme goes for the lead.
Yes, he does. Stremme's got Boris up there helping push him. Have to see if they get it pulled off here.
And word that the 17 of Hendrickson might have indeed brushed the wall going down into one. Take a look. That's the white car on the high side.
Oh, yeah, he definitely hit the wall.
So did Seegers, it looks like.
It's just a little bit more than a brush.
Yeah.
Take another look through the tri-oval.
Oh, look at that. Seegers went up, and you know what the problem is?
Does the air suck the car?
Not only the air, you're looking at the guy behind you, and when he starts to move up a little, you figure, okay, there's room.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he hits the wall, and you hit the wall.
Your hands follow your eyes.
You're right.
So that's what does happen. A.J. Hendrickson heading down pit road, Don Radebaugh. What's the situation?
Well, I don't know, but we're about to find out. Very much an unscheduled pit stop under green flag racing. We know there's damage on the right side. They are very disappointed. AJ was quickest in the first practice session and quickest in happy hour. The 17 car rolls to a stop. No power on the car. The hood goes up as the crew pulling bent sheet metal away from the right side. But with the hood up, they've gone under. The motor is not on. It doesn't look very good for AJ Hendrickson, dead on pit road.
About to go a lap down to the leaders. He was running up in the top 5 the first 15 or 20 laps today, Bill.
Yep. I got to think, look at this lead group, man. This is scary. This is nerve-wracking right now. This is not Winston Cup you're watching, folks. This is an ARCA race.
And we're not even to halfway yet. And Kenny, this speaks to what you were saying earlier, the number of good teams that are here in the ARCA Series at the biggest racetrack.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it just every year this pack gets bigger and bigger. But, you know, as this sport's grown, the Winston Cup deal has grown so much that there's more equipment out there that guys only in the Winston Cup deal run a car for a year and then they'll sell it. And it's just the prices of these cars have actually in a little bit come down.
Yeah, you're right, and the wealth of knowledge that we get from the Winston Cup teams has been tremendous for our program alone. And I know a lot of these guys are hooked up. Everybody finds an alliance that they get hooked up with, and they learn a lot from those teams.
When they were just looking out Frank Kimmel's windshield there, spend $1 million a year, you know, to run this series, but what would you give for a clean windshield right now, you know?
Quick pit stop and a squeegee might be in. Yeah. Squeegee guys, if they're at the end of pit road, they would certainly be in demand. But how about Kimmel? Started back in, 15th spot here today. He made a couple of pit stops, Bill. You weren't sure that was the right strategy. He's raced his way up into the lead group, now sitting back there in 5th.
You know, I said the same thing about Kimmel. I said the same thing about AJ Hendrickson and Billy Venturini. But, you know, they came in and put on 4 tires. When they went green, AJ was 17th, Billy Venturini was 23rd, Kimmel was 21st. Now look at where they're at. They were all back up front till AJ hit the wall.
But how about Chase Montgomery, Ken Schrader? No one's been able to get by him. I thought Stremming had enough car to roll by him there a couple of laps ago. He's settled in back. Is he waiting, or is he just not fast enough?
Well, I don't. I've been around David some, and I don't think he's waiting much. But what we see here is we don't see a big cooperation amongst everybody else to put a full court press on Chase yet. We need to get like 3 or 4 of them lined up, and they will get by him. But when 2 of them line up, then someone else thinks, oh, I cut left and get underneath them, you know. So we just haven't seen the cooperation yet to get by him, but he is awfully good.
3 wide down the back straightaway. This is Paul Menard and Andy Petrie's 26 car. Ken Weaver there in the 96, Mark Thompson in the 48, and Greg Sarf in the 38. Boy, this looks like a Sunday show. Menard
look
trying
at
to
Menard dancing around in the
through.
center, Kenny.
He is 12.
Man.
Several pit stops for an oil leak. He's back up to 12th last time by.
Yeah, this is not what they want here, though. They want 3 wide is hurting them right there.
Up front, it's still Montgomery. Menard trying to march his way back into contention. Shown 11th. 4 wide going down into 1.
Yep, they wrecked, just no one hit nothing.
The outside.
Billy Venturini
starting to put pressure on the race leader.
Got up to second, went around Stremme, went around Kyle Busch, and he's chasing Chase Montgomery right now.
Boris said that blue Pontiac, the 99, is up behind Kyle Busch on the high side. This is Kimmel in the 46. Series points leader tucked in behind Stremme in that silver Dodge.
Well, you know, I don't want to show their hand, but this is what the 2 Billy Venturini and Chase Montgomery wanted to do. They wanted to get the 2 Pontiacs hooked up and run with each other and let the other guys dice it out and see what happens.
Still another 9 laps short of halfway. Speed strip at the top of your screen shows you where your favorite driver's running. Kimmel right now certainly in the catbird seat. Remember, he needed to gain 95 points on Jason Jarrett to lock up the championship here today if he shows at the final 2 races of the year. Right now, he's running 22 spots ahead of Jason Jarrett, which is worth 110 points. So Kimmel possibly about to clinch a championship here today. He is 4th.
See, right now, David Stremme's been able to break away from that big group and run down to 2 leaders, so maybe you'll see a 3-car run away.
48 laps up on the board. Battles for 4th. That's Kimmel on the bottom in the 46. Kyle Busch in the black Chevrolet, the 87 up high. The leader is still Chase Montgomery. Billy Venturini is 2nd at Talladega. 50 laps complete this time by at Talladega Superspeedway. Chase Montgomery leads. Billy Venturini is 2nd. David Stremme is 3rd. Closing in on halfway. Let's get an update on A.J. Hendrickson. Here's Don Radebaugh.
AJ, I know you went from the happiest guy in happy hour, quickest there, to one of the most disappointed in Talladega town. What happened?
I think we started to lose a clutch. I started watching the RPMs. They just were going up and up. I actually brushed the wall over there watching the tachometer, but it just started slipping the clutch really bad, or the transmission, something like that.
Well, one thing's for sure, we all found out that A.J. Hendrickson was here this weekend, quickest in practice, and happy hour. He'll be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
It just takes just one little lapse of concentration there to get him in the wall. We thought initially that hitting that wall might have been his problem, but he's got more net. Billy's looking in a good position now, but we got one little problem that's in that group, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and we were talking as we were watching the leaders. There's Chase Montgomery right now looking out the window. He's leading the race. Billy Venturini's running 2nd, and David Stremme's running 3rd. And what they had done, they were running single file. The other guys were running, 2 abreast. Those guys got in single file. They caught him. The problem is Chase Montgomery's going to run out of fuel. He has not stopped yet. We're on lap 51. He's going to slow down.
They can't. We've heard from 50 laps to 65, but somewhere in this window, that car is going to have to come in and get fuel.
Well, Bob Gilner's standing by Montgomery's pit stall. Bob, what are they saying?
Well, they are getting a little concerned here because they thought they would be able to catch another caution. 61 is the magic lap for Chase Montgomery. That's when they think he is going to run out of fuel. Right now, Chase is on the radio, and he is just trying to sell for a caution. He's saying, I see debris in turns 1, I see debris in turn 3.
Oh, he's got great vision. There's no doubt about that. But Bill Venturini, if you take a green flag stop now when you're leading almost halfway, does that kill your chances?
It doesn't kill your chance because you won't lose a lap, but it doesn't help them. And here's what's happened. The Winston Cup guys ganged up on the ARCA guys and, shuffled Billy back a little right now. I'll just have to have a little talk with Kyle Busch's dad, Tom, and raise his rent or something, if he's...
Ken Weaver back there in the 96 doing a nice job. He is side-by-side with Frank Kimmel, who's been shuffled back to 10th position. Kimmel in position perhaps to lock up his 5th ARCA REMAX championship here today at Talladega. And Larry Clements, Advance Auto Parts, Pork the other Whitemead Ford. Racing through the trial, was still alongside Ron Cox in the 23. Cox back in 13th position. And Greg Sarf, a good run for the 38 team.
Yeah, they didn't even have a motor when they got here, when the first day they got here. And he had to wait till actually Thursday before the motor showed up and put it in that car.
Bill Ebersol there too in the 08, leading the rookie points, showing in the top 15. Meantime, the leaders come off of turn 2. It's Montgomery in the red car, Stremme in the silver 77 second, Kyle Busch, Morris Said now your top 4, and they've just ever so slightly started to break away a little bit. Billy Venturini trying to hang on to that group in 5th position.
Well,
Morris Said's back there too.
What's happened is Tony Ave, who was in the draft when the draft caught Billy Venturini in a round, and Billy Venturini got stuck to the outside. Billy couldn't get back in until he got behind Tony Ave, and the minute he did that, Tony Ave obviously is a little slower than these 4 or 5 cars, and he's starting to hold him up a little. Maybe they can catch him and run him back down, though. They stay in single file.
Ave out of Indiana, that yellow 66. And caution is waving on the speedway. Yellow flag is out, so this will certainly benefit Chase Montgomery. Evidently, the sell job worked. We're being told there's debris in turn 4.
You got it. Chase Montgomery did it.
He's waving out the window there. You can see him inside the car, waving to the cars behind him. And this is the crew of Montgomery Motorsports getting ready to jump the wall, put fuel in that car, and 4 tires here.
Well, all right. It's not one of those.
He was
BS calls. Yeah, there's what they, I get here.
Big stuff.
Jock debris. Yeah, there is a debris on the racetrack. And I do have to say, it is in the racing surface, so you do have to throw the yellow.
Chase Montgomery leads him through the trial. Well, this will be the 55th lap. Now, he has stayed out there, but we have had a lot of laps under caution, which affects your fuel mileage.
Right. I don't think it's time to pit yet. I think you need to stay out, on the next caution, set of cautions. That's when you pit and you're done for the day.
Oh, it's definitely time for Chase. Because, but because Chase can make it from here. If he could run 61 laps.
Distance is 113. We're at 55.
Well, if he could, if they said they could run 61 laps. Now, if lap 61 was their lap because of the extended number of yellows, but if they could run 61 laps green, they're set. I think we got to.
I don't think he could have run 61 green flag laps. So that 61 lap window had to be with all the yellows, Ken.
Meantime, Frank Kimmel here, a little contact with Greg Sarf up in turn 2.
More than once.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were Frank, that wouldn't seem like a little contact.
No.
That's
pick the back end up.
You got that right. His RPMs went every time he got hit.
Yeah. Ken Weaver there in the 96 out of Dallas. A nice run in 12th spot for that team. On board with Kimmel, under caution. We'll see which of the leaders decide to come down pit road as we close in on halfway at Talladega Superspeedway. We'll be right back. Today's Speed Channel coverage of the ARCA RE/MAX Series is being brought to you by Gladiator Garage Works, a division of Whirlpool. Gladiator Garage Works, it's time to rethink your garage. With Bill Venturini and Ken Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin. Bob Dillner and Don Radebaugh are on pit road. Under caution, the leader is on pit road, and let's get an update from Chase Montgomery's pits.
Chase Montgomery is on pit road. It will be 2 tires only, right sides for Chase Montgomery, who has been so tough out there. They are pulling the back rear quarter panel out on the left side from that damage from that incident earlier on. Has trouble getting going a little bit, but he is off and away.
Good stop for the 2017 team, and here's the Schrader Racing bunch servicing the 99 car.
Yeah, well, we're real proud of what Boris has been doing here so far. We just got to make her through the rest of the day here.
Boris came down off of the banking, sitting comfortably in the top 10, showing 13th at the moment in that Pontiac. Take a look just a moment ago. We're being told that one of the drivers was not quite accurate when he came to a stop in his pit stall. Let's take a look at that and see if we can get a look here. Well, first, we'll check in with the leaders on the backstretch, the 77 and the 87. That's Stremme and Kyle Busch staying out on the racetrack, and there's Billy Venturini in the 25.
He stayed out on the racetrack also.
Deciding don't need to stop right now. You got 4 tires last time.
Yeah, so. I'm in the booth calling it with you guys. I'm not down there making these calls. Knowing the way this race has been going, I would have probably put on 2 tires the first pit stop in fuel. Then I would have come in now, maybe put on 4 tires and topped it off. And then this way, worst I would have had was just to top it off if I had to.
See Boris coming in his pits here, and
oh boy.
That's
a penalty.
No, it's not a penalty yet. He didn't run over the hose, and he's back in his
looked
body.
Like he ran over the hose.
Yeah, we're just lucky we didn't run over anybody.
Yeah. Was that the catch can that went flying?
Now they can pit him.
They told us today that Boris sometimes has a little problem, gets in the pits. He'll get in. It might be the wrong one, but he'll stop a little short or get in a little too hot. But definitely got in a little hot there.
Well, when you come off the banking here, now it's not under green, but you're going $185, and you've got to get down to 100 and then 45 in a short distance. That's not easy to do.
No, it's not, but we're coming under yellow this time. We're probably running about 65. And pit road speed's probably 55 or something like that. And so
he just blew it.
He blew it. Yeah.
At least the defending Trans Am champion. I'm trying to give him his due here.
He's a heck of a race car driver.
Yes, he is.
He's a little bit out of his element today, but he's run good on the ovals before, and he was looking forward to this, and we were sure looking forward to having him in the car.
If I'm not mistaken, has a Truck Series win on an oval several years ago.
I think it was at Sears Point.
Sears Point?
Was it a Sears Point?
I believe so.
I thought he had one oval track, but I have to recheck the memory bank later on. But anyway, Boris was a Truck Series regular for a couple of years and has road raced very successfully.
Drove the Federated Auto Parts truck for Ernie Irvin.
That's right.
Irvin Simcoe Racing.
Now, wait a minute. I've seen a commercial with you and him.
But before I had the Federated Auto Parts truck, Ernie Irvin and Simcoe had it. And Boris Still, he drove my car at Sears Point this year, run second to Kevin Harvick in the Southwest Tour race there out the weekend we were out there at Sonoma.
One of the best road racers in the country, no doubt about it. Drives a factory BMW in the Speed World Challenge Series. Still competes in Trans Am as the defending champion. Hasn't made all those races this year, but does run quite frequently.
He quite a character, too.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Just fun to be around. That's a lot of fun.
Wide open, I think, would be the best description of Boris, the way he treats life, certainly. Let's get an update from Pit Road. Don Radebaugh.
I just wanted to bring David Stremme back into the picture. His career first ARCA REMAX Series start. Interesting story in the family there. A lot of racing in the family. Father and mother, Lou and Cindy, are both race car drivers. Between the two, Lou and Cindy, father and mother, they have 7 track championships in street stocks and super late models at New Paris, Plymouth, and South Bend speedways in Indiana. And of course, his younger brother, Bobby, David's younger brother, is the brand new New Paris late model track champion in 2003. So a lot of racing in the Stremme family for sure. What's up, Bob Dillman?
Ryan Pemberton, his crew chief for Boris, said, and Boris certainly makes it interesting for all of us, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun, to race with Boris. He gave us a little excitement there, sit through the pits, but we changed a lot of stuff up. I changed it from a 2-tire stop to a 4-tire stop mid-stride right here, and the guys did a great job adjusting to it. He slid through the pits. Basically he's just not used to a big car like this with little tiny rotors on them like we have here for the Speedway race, and that's what it's all about, getting him some experience. So when we go to February, run the Bud Shootout with him, he's got some experience. So he got some experience. We all got some that time.
Schrader's up in the booth. Anything you want to tell Kenny Schrader?
No, I'm not getting in the middle of that.
Well, experience in the draft is really the key, isn't it, Ken?
Oh, most definitely. But, something really big about the Bud Shootout in February is a green flag pit stop.
Yeah.
And, wow, you talk about that one. I mean, you come in so hard, and that a lot of times you'll get just stopped. And when you get stopped in your pits, the pedal just, poof, goes to the floor.
Not a comfortable place to be. All right, before we go green, let's squeeze in a quick timeout. We'll be back at Talladega. Back in Talladega on speed. Be sure to join Dave Despain for Wind Tunnel, 9 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Thursday nights. All the newsmakers. Paul Gentilozzi will be on the air with Dave Monday night to discuss the future of kart. Tuesday night, Bruton Smith, the chairman and CEO of Speedway Motorsports, will be Dave's special guest. Wind Tunnel, Monday through Thursday at 9 Eastern, only on speed.
That's a fun show.
Oh, it is.
I'm amazed. Like I said it before, I'm amazed at the wealth of information that man has.
Oh, yeah. And the people that he gets on the show.
Well, it's like Larry King. If you're anybody in the sport, you've got to be on Wind Tunnel.
All right.
Getting ready to go green. Safety car has headed in. Starting to look at them over as they come through the trial. We'll put lap 59 on the board. We're past halfway, so no worries about completing today's run. David Stremme, the restart leader. Kyle Busch in second. Lead lap cars are up high. Looks like Billy Venturini tucking in a line in third there on the 25, and here we go.
Good clean start.
Larry Hollenbeck in the 10, disdaining a pit stop. That's an ex-Johnny Benson car. You'll notice the Valvoline colors there up in fourth. Andy Belmont there in the 1, still trying to get his lap back. If you're just joining us, Belmont in a blue car from Vern Slaw's hauler. Andy had a Pontiac here this weekend, but wrecked it Friday. Borrowed the car from Vern, put his number 1 and his Verizon logos on the car, and he has been very strong today. Just got a lap down early and hasn't been able to get it back yet. Top 3 starting to pull away. Paul Menard up in 6th there in the 26. He's running behind Belmont, but the caution is back out as they come through the tri-oval. And we're being told there is debris spotted again on the racetrack. We'll go back to caution.
It's on the back straightaway, I heard.
Okay, we'll try to find it out there and see what exactly is the problem.
Andy Belmont would sure like to get that lap back on one of these yellows. It's just...
He's got to get a good restart, and that's hard to do. It's hard to get the car up to
First
speed.
of all, he has to get an excellent restart, and second of all, he's got to have a race car that can run with the fast cars to get it back. And I'm not going to take anything away from Andy because he's good, but it's the first time in the car. I just don't think the car's capable of being able to run with the leaders right now. There's the debris.
There's debris that just got run over.
It's been made into more pieces of debris.
Yeah.
So the track safety crew, very capable here at Talladega Superspeedway. We'll get out on the backstretch.
How many more guys can run over it?
I think they had bullseye painted on the track there for a second. Great crowd on hand to enjoy the ARCA REMAX Series here at Talladega. We're glad you're with us on Speed.
Good crowd.
Yeah.
Right. I'm looking out the window here.
A couple of races to go after today. Of course, we'll be with you from Lowe's Motor Speedway just outside Charlotte, Concord, North Carolina, on a Thursday night, 2 weeks, for the Easy Care 150, and then the makeup date at South Boston.
South Boston the following Saturday. First time that I can ever remember that we're going to end the ARCA season at a short track.
And that is because Hurricane Isabel forced the second postponement of the South Boston race, a race you won a year ago on the 4th of July.
Yeah, we won it. We're going to go back this year with the Federated Auto Parts car and try again.
Who's going to be in it?
I am.
Oh, you're going to be in it now?
Yep.
Well, you certainly had the right combination there a year ago. I'll take you in the pool. How's that? Downstairs to Don Radeball.
Well, Shelby Howard, as you know, became the youngest ARCA REMAX Series in history. Youngest winner, that is, earlier this year at Kansas and Salem. He apparently got the attention of the NASCAR world as well. He'll make his career first NASCAR Busch Series start next weekend, October 4 at Kansas Speedway. There he'll be driving the number 43 Dr. Pepper Curb Records Dodge under the Curb Agajanian Motorsports banner, with veteran crew chief Dan Glaus turning the wrenches, and he's going to have the 77 Jasper Winston Cup crew performing the over-the-wall duty. So we'll keep an eye on Shelby Howard next weekend in Kansas, making his first NASCAR Busch Series start.
Well, young driver certainly has gained a lot of attention with his 3 wins this year, 2 at Salem and a win at Kansas on the Speedway. And when you can win on the short tracks and the big tracks, pretty much the sign of approval.
His program when he came into the ARCA Series was, because he couldn't run the other series because of his age limit, was to come and run ARCA till he turned 18, so then he can start to run the Busch program.
Winners we've seen this season: Frank Kimmel leads the loop with 7 victories. Chase Montgomery has been to victory lane 4 times. Shelby Howard, Kyle Busch, multiple race winners. And you saw Mark Gibson's name up there. He's won 1. Mario Gosselin, the victory a while back. And several other drivers with
Tony Stewart.
Yeah, Tony Stewart with a win on the dirt. And a reminder, if you don't yet have your 50 years of racing, your ARCA Souvenir Edition coffee table book, plenty of great photos and articles. Be sure and collect that now. 1-800-546-8788 is the number to call for your ARCA 50th anniversary commemorative book. And it is a beautiful book indeed.
Now look.
Are you going to tell me that there are 2 pictures of you in?
No, look who's coming down pit road now.
Yeah, here comes Kyle Busch along with David Stremme.
Billy Venturini and Larry Hollenbach. The cars that didn't pit the last time are now coming down pit road now.
Less than 60 laps remaining, so you can probably get to the end. Don Radeball.
With Kyle Busch, the 2-time ARCA REMAX Series winner on pit road. This is very much a scheduled pit stop. No adjustments, just right side tires and fuel. The Diatech.com entry down and away.
Good quick stop for the 87 team. Good choice certainly to do it under caution. The 25 car, the 77 and the 10. They were all toward the front along with Boris Said, Jason Jarrett. Bob Dillner.
Well, Boris Said came down pit road. Ryan Pemberton, the crew chief, said he thought they were just a little bit short on the fuel mileage game, so they came down and topped off. He is good to go. And Schrader, he stopped perfectly this time.
You stood way back, though, didn't you?
I did. I was. In fact, Pemberton actually told me to grab the official and say, hey, watch out. You might want to move back a little bit. We don't know if our driver's going to stop or not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he's
still on one. Look at.
Whoa.
One of the ARCA officials there giving him the signal that it was incomplete, I think. It looked like he was on a football field.
And he's still skidding out of the box.
Boris is aggressive behind him. Wouldn't you say, Kenny?
You're a lot better off having to calm someone down and try to speed him up. Boris is definitely, he stands on the gas.
The USG Sheetrock Pontiac with the Schrader Racing crew helping out this weekend. MB2 and Schrader Racing putting that ride together for Boris Said, the Trans Am champion, who was on the pole at Sears Point at Infineon Raceway back in the summertime in the NASCAR Winston Cup event.
Okay, now, have you noticed through all of his pit stops, shuffling his strategy, look who's leading this race?
That would be the 26, and Paul Menard would be your restart leader.
You know, we never told anyone why Paul Menard is in the number 26 car, did we?
No, we didn't. Brad Smith isn't here this weekend. Meantime, let's get an update on Matt Higgins in the Eagle Creek Aviation Pontiac. Don Radeball.
I just want to sort of introduce you to Matt Higgins. He is the owner-proprietor of the Eagle Creek Aviation Company. He buys and sells refurbished aircraft. Some of his clients include Tony Stewart, who's bought 3 airplanes from Matt Higgins, Sterling Marlin and P.J. Jones, just to name a couple. Now, he may be a very experienced licensed pilot, but he is a first-time flyer at Talladega Superspeedway. In fact, Rick Benjamin, I think you may even have hitched a ride on one of his planes on down here to Talladega Town.
Came down with the family and some of the crew this morning, and we'll go back to Indianapolis with them after the checkered flag today. And they are a terrific family and very, very capable race team, and we certainly appreciate their help today. And Matt's got that car up in 8th position.
We were going to talk about the 26 car and Paul Menard in the 26 and Brad Smith. Brad Smith had his car. He was here in practice, I think it was. Or it was just
qualifying.
Qualifying. The car caught on fire. Brad Smith is doing okay. He's still in the hospital here in Birmingham, I think it is, but he's going to be released either today or tomorrow morning. Brad Smith did not have a backup car. So the rule states that he can get a backup car that has not qualified for the race. That car right there, which was the 33 car, got disqualified because it was too low. So technically that car was not in the field. So Brad Smith made a deal and said, let's see, you'll watch and see the car catch on fire. Well, Brad Smith made a deal with the Menards to technically rent his car for a backup car. Well, now because he's incapable of driving the car, and as long as he is injured, not seriously, but injured where he physically can't drive the race car, then he's allowed to put a backup driver in it. So then he elected to put Paul Menard in his backup car that he got from the Menards. So, yeah, there are some technicalities. They did it right.
And he gets the opportunity to get the car owner points.
He gets the car owner points. You got it.
And Paul Menard giving the Andy Petrie Chevrolet a terrific ride today. He is going to be the restart leader after working pit stop strategy well so far. 63 are complete. We'll be back at Talladega. Welcome back on Speed with Bill Venturini, Ken Schrader. I'm Rick Benjamin. Welcome to Talladega Superspeedway. Coverage of the Food World 300 for the ARCA RE/MAX stars. 20th race of a 22-race season. Andy Belmont in the 1 car. Has he gotten his lap back, guys?
Yep. He is now the last car at the tail end of the lead lap. The minute Paul Menard passes him, I mean, then...
You think that'll happen?
Yeah, then he'll be a lap down. But technically, right now, he's on the lead lap. But he's got 2.66 miles to go to get back where he needs to be.
Well, the best thing that could happen for Andy is to take the green
and have a yellow come out immediately. Yeah. And if that happens, then he's made up his
mind. And that has happened a couple of times.
It's happened twice here so far.
And if you're familiar with the ARCA RE/MAX series, that is not the car that Andy Belmont normally drives. That's a car he borrowed from Vern Slaw after this incident in practice earlier in the weekend. Out of the black Pontiac up high into the wall and really flattened the right side of the car.
Oh, yeah, it pretty well junked a lot of the suspension on that car.
Ouch.
Now, a really vicious guy would brake check him on the restart here, pile up about 3 or 4 of them, and get his lap back.
Not that anybody I'm standing here with might think about that, but...
Well, not here, but a good quarter-mile dirt it worked.
Isn't that where you were last night?
Yeah, we ran over to the Shark Track last night. 59 cars over there. A lot of fun.
I heard it was a late night, though. Somebody that was usually was complaining 2 o'clock was a little late to get back.
For those of you who've never been here, right across the street from the big track is Talladega Short Track. This little dirt oval where the World of Outlaws are in town this weekend as well. Up through the gears, Belmont in the 1, tail end of the lead lap. Your leader is the 26, but Bob Dillon, what about Chase Montgomery?
Well, big time trouble for the former leader of this race. They think they have a right side tire that went down, so he is forced to come down pit road. Looks like it is a right front tire as the crew goes to work on that machine. The official motioning to them right now that they have to come back and tighten up a few more lug nuts. He is off and away, but man, a bad break. Really disappointing for Chase Montgomery.
He may not lose a lap.
And now this is big-time trouble or a big-time break that had happened on the restart.
Right. Because he may not lose a lap, and what's going to happen is because they weren't up to full speed. It didn't happen under green. They were coming to get the green, so the leaders weren't up to full speed yet.
Montgomery off pit road, headed toward turn 1 up through the gears as the field comes through the tri-oval. But he is going to have a tough road to hoe, no drafting partner, and a full racetrack to try to catch the pack. He's got a fast car. I don't think it's that fast. He'll need a caution to catch back up.
He will need a caution, and they're going to be right on him. They will catch him, I do believe.
Up in front, Menard. Thompson in 4th in that 48. That's a black car. There's Menard on the 26. And Andy Belmont has gone a lap down once again. There he is in the blue Dodge, third in line. Keith Seegers is second. 66 of Tony Abe being shown up in the lead group as well. Again, up in third. Thompson and Abe are side by side for third. 3 wide, meantime, a little further back in the pack.
Oh, yeah, they're getting dicey. Here we go.
Less than 50 to go now. That's Hagens in the 9. That Pontiac on the high side. Ken Weaver in the middle. The Serta car, Brent Sherman and David Stribby trying to get back to the front. Boris Said there in the 99. Rookie Bill Eversole in the 08 doing a nice job. Brent Sherman sustained a fair amount of damage.
Right.
He was caught up in one of those early trial incidents.
Exactly.
And the body work is straight on that car now.
And it's hanging out, and what it's doing is causing a big parachute, and what it's doing is he's running slower, and he's slowing down the guys right behind him that are trying to get around him. Now Stribby's got to the outside. I think he'll get by him now.
Shuffling it up down the back stretch.
Is that Chase Montgomery down on the apron? Yep.
Montgomery in the 27. Apparently the problems have not been solved. The driver who led, I'm guessing, 40-some laps in the first half of this one before deciding to pit. He was trying to play a different pit strategy. Didn't stop until the caution a few minutes back. Did come to pit road then, but apparently they made a mistake on the pit stop. He's got to come back in.
Well, I don't know if they made a mistake. I think there's something wrong because he wouldn't be going that slow on the apron.
Well, the original mistake of the lug nuts not being tightened correctly when they held him on pit road. Here's Hagens in the 9 trying to race by the 44 car, Brent Sherman. Leaders are in turn 1. 3 wide for position further back in the field. Hagens in the 9 being shown back in 11th. Sherman in 10th. Weaver there in 12th position. There's the Ditech.com car, the 87. Kyle Busch back in 18th last time by. With so many caution periods, there's Kimmel in the 46. Up in the 15th spot. The pack has been shuffled several times.
Whoa!
Oh, Keith Seegers, last year's winner. Big spin, going to the wall.
Oh, man.
Hit. Oh! Several cars. Hagens is involved. Boris Said in the 99 is involved. Looks like Kyle Busch is in the middle of that one in the 87. Several cars bounce off the inside retaining wall. Several cars involved. You've got 6 or 7 cars in that wreck coming off turn 4. Boris Said in the Pontiac there. Matt Hagens in the 9. Ken Weaver's involved. Frank Kimmel got through safely. We'll be right back to sort it out. Welcome back on Speed. 70 laps complete of 113 that make up the Food World 300, and we have had, if not a big one, a pretty good-sized incident coming off turn 4.
Now, come on, I got to talk to Rick Benjamin about this. We were in our pre-broadcast meeting this morning, and we talked about the big one, and we said there hasn't been a big one in ARCA lately. I think this qualifies. I think we just jinxed this one.
Well, this isn't a 26-car Winston Cup pileup, Kenny, but it's pretty significant.
This is a big crash.
Watch Keith Seegers in the yellow 04 car.
Oh, I think he got a flat. You see the car wiggle first?
They don't just spin like that by themselves.
Right.
Boris was first on the scene. These boys, they
got nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
All you do now is you hope that you're trying to steer. Oh, and then Shelby Howard gets involved in it.
Shelby got a good job of getting it turned back to the right, so he didn't hit as hard on the left.
Tough incident. Seegers in the 04 crossed up in the middle of the corner for whatever the reason. Slid up the racetrack. Boris Said in the 99 drilled it because he really had no place to go. And then several other cars scrambled. Shelby Howard. There's the Seegers machine. Matt Hagens took a big hit going in through there. Here's on board with Frank Kimmel.
I think he made it through this.
Down to the apron.
Good job, Franco. Senator Kimmel, good job.
Evasive action paid off in that incident for the 4-time series champion. One more look. Hagens was right there in the red 9 car to drill the back of the 99. Kyle Busch took a heavy impact. Both ends of the 87 car are significantly damaged. Hagens then hits the inside wall as well. Ken Weaver stops. Shelby Howard stops down there against the wall. And several other cars caught up in it.
I believe we see some of the softer wall.
Yeah. See, right,
technology down the inside.
The inside of that wall is that new soft wall stuff. You're right.
Softer.
Safety crew on
softer.
Yeah.
Helping Boris Said climb out on the Pontiac.
He's looking around right now, trying to look for a name on a wall. It says where he's at.
Waving to the fans, and the 99 goes out on the hook.
How many cars were involved in this one?
Well, I was counting 8 or 9
here we
there. Jason Hedleski in the 90 was certainly in the middle of it. There was Brack Maggard there in the black 83, a car that came from the Andy Belmont shops this weekend. Hagen's in the 9, Busch in the 87 we saw. The 64 Shelby Howard, you pointed out, Bill Venturini. There's Matt Hagen's car on the rollback. He is out of the car and okay. And we have Bob Dillner and Don Radebaugh on pit road, checking on things, checking on the conditions of your favorite drivers as well, and we'll update the situation.
Well, the number 90, Jason Hedleski's back on the racetrack right now, so he's not in too bad a shape. You can see they haven't even got the 64 car yet cleared away from the wall. And who's that other car?
That is the car of Ken Howard, the 96 car of Ken Weaver.
Ken Weaver.
From Texas. Not Ken Howard from the White Shadow, Ken Weaver in the 96 car. And Kenny, during the break, we were talking about the newly implemented Winston Cup rule that will allow for roof hatches starting this weekend as an option. And that's a case where you'd want one.
Yeah, normally the drivers, we've climbed in and out of the left windows for so many years that's the way we would get out in any kind of emergency. But when the car's up driver's side against the wall or something like that, you want to get out of the thing quick, or if you have to extract the driver, safety crews do, it's just a lot simpler, quicker way to get them out.
Is it mandatory?
No, right now it's an option, but I think it will be mandatory in our
for next year.
How's it fit? I haven't seen one yet.
It's pretty trick. It hinges from the inside or the outside. It's a lot simpler operation than I would have thought it was going to be.
Is it like the roof flaps?
It flips all the way over, though. It's pretty neat. They did a lot of work on it.
They've had them in drag racing for years for funny car drivers, and is it similar to that?
Ours, funny cars flip forward.
Yeah.
This one, depending on which side you flip it from, it's capable. You can flip it to the left or you can flip it to the right.
Well, I know that Gary Nelson and the crew at the new NASCAR Research and Development Center up in Concord have really been working on that for quite some time, hoping to get it perfected.
Well, NASCAR's taken such a big step forward in safety, like all the organizations have, and so many of them that have worked together. But the commitment they made with that technology center and manning people to put in there to actually do this research and development and try to come up with new ways to make the cars safer has really been amazing.
Yeah, I had heard that Michael Waltrip may have it in his car for this week. Did he?
I did not know.
Yeah. So the fans getting an opportunity to stretch here at Talladega Superspeedway. 72 laps complete, and we remain under caution after an incident coming out of Turn 4. The 04 of defending race champion Keith Seegers. That's a Morgan McClure Chevrolet spinning up there on the racetrack, and it's something we've seen here at Talladega many, many times over the years. You're just along for the ride in that case, aren't you, Ken?
Oh, definitely.
You're just along. Keith did not just spin out. He had a problem that started that.
We'll be back with more in a moment. Welcome back on Speed, under caution yet again in the Food World 300, the ARCA REMAX Series, for an incident coming off Turn 4. Keith Seegers in the 04 car got sideways, and Ken Schrader, you're pretty well convinced that he didn't do anything wrong, that something must have broken in the race car.
Look, Keith won this race last year. This car all of a sudden snaps around. Keith didn't just lose it. It had a problem, and don't know what it was, but he was just along for the ride when that happened.
Boris Said in the 99, Matt Hagen's in the 9, Kyle Busch in the 87, Shelby Howard in the 64, Brock Maggard in the 83, and that's Ken Weaver in the 96. Here's one more look. Frank Kimmel was right there as well. He managed to steer underneath it after that heavy initial impact. Christy Passmore just got by it in the white car with the orange trim. There is Weaver in the 96 being spun after several hits. He then bounced off the inside wall. They're working on that car to remove Weaver right now. Shelby Howard stopping against the wall as well. Boris Said was second on the scene. Bob Dillner, is he feeling okay?
Well, he's okay. He's standing here with me right now, but what did you see out there?
I mean, I felt like USG Sheetrock brand had some sheetrock all over the track. And I had nowhere to go. I just saw the 04 spun in front of me, and I thought I had a guy on my inside, so I thought he'd get up out of the way. Like Tom Cruise, go into the smoke, but he never got out of the way, and I hit him hard. And then I think I got hit 2 or 3 more times. But it was a learning experience. I got to experience everything at Talladega, and it was more than I expected. Need to work on my pit stops. They aren't kidding when they say that you don't have much brakes when you come in. You think you're going really slow, and there's nothing there. But I just want to thank everyone at USG Sheetrock brand, the U.S. Army, for giving me this opportunity, and I can't wait for the Bud Shootout in February. It's going to be fun.
To you, Don Radebaugh.
Well, fortunately, Chase Montgomery was not in the wreck. Unfortunately, he's out of the race. What happened, Chase?
Left front wheel bearing failure. What can I say? These guys worked their butts off all weekend, did an outstanding job. Yesterday in practice, we had a left front wheel bearing failure and thought we had it fixed. Everything was brand new. Went back out there, and it happens again right as we're about to go back to green. So we had to come back to the pits, went back out there, and it's still wrong. But, what can I say? I can't speak highly enough for these guys. I mean, we went from 7th to 1st in less than 10 laps, so we've got an awesome car. We'll get it fixed, come back to Daytona next year, and try to defend our race title.
Yeah, they're pretty good at that Daytona thing. The defending Daytona winner, pretty good at the restrictor plate business, although out of it today.
Certainly looked as though they had the strongest car here, very much so in the first half. 2 wheel bearing failures in one weekend, Bill Venturini. That's pretty rare.
Very rare, but I'd question the grease they're using. I'd question the technique on how they're doing it more than I would a parts failure. If you lose one, that's different. But when you lose two in one, if you lose 2 in one weekend, that tells me there's some other problem.
Well, Ken Weaver has been removed from his race car and was waving to the fans
You got
as he went back downstairs. So that's certainly good news indeed. Back downstairs to Don Radebaugh.
Kyle Busch got caught up in that big mess out there. Happy to see you're okay. What happened from your windshield?
Basically, all I seen was the 04 car spinning up the racetrack, and everybody was just piling in from there. But when you're on these big speedways with nowhere to go, no way to stop, you just got to kind of drive through there and pick your way the best you can. And I was about through, and then I got clipped right in the right rear and spun me around into the fence. It felt like to me, but TV will probably show different.
Now, on that last restart, we noticed you fell back. I talked to one of your crew members, said you were stuck in 4th gear.
Yeah, I tried to downshift for the restart to get it in 2nd, and she wouldn't budge. So I just had to putt along in 4th gear until we could get back up to speed.
Well, he doesn't have even 4th gear anymore, Kyle Busch, out of the race.
Yeah, gearbox problems are the least of that team's worries, I would say, at the moment. The 87 car going out on the hook a few moments ago. Word is that Shelby Howard also is fine. Frank Kimmel giving us the thumbs up. He's preparing for the restart from 9th spot. We'll be back. Back at Talladega on Speed, preparing for a restart. A reminder, plenty of coverage of your favorite motorsports action from the weekend. Tomorrow, Speed News Sunday, 7:30 Eastern. Right before that, Speed News NASCAR edition. Wrapping up the weekend here at Talladega and elsewhere at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And then NASCAR Victory Lane at 8 o'clock Eastern with more from Talladega and the EA Sports 500 tomorrow. And of course, tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern. Now, Speed News will have aired by the time you see our coverage here from Talladega Superspeedway. Frank Kimmel in pretty good shape. Restarts in 9th spot. They've had to battle their way up through the field a couple of times. Jason Jarrett in the 67, though, 15th. They're not having a bad day.
Here's a guy that punched a hole in his front nose early in the race, has made probably 20 pit stops, and he's running 15th right now.
Kimmel and Jarrett 1-2 in the season standings. Frank Kimmel in line to score his 5th ARCA REMAX Series championship, his 3rd in a row. The restart leader will be Paul Menard and Andy Petrie Chevrolet, the number 26. They were fast at Winchester on the short track several weeks ago. He was caught up in an incident pretty early in the first 50 laps, wasn't around at the end, but it's a great race team, obviously, as you well know.
Right, I think they were fast at Salem earlier in the year. They did good there, so they've run some truck races, some Busch races, some ARCA races, and they've run good and competitive in all the races they've been at. They've had some problems, just some fluke stuff, but they've definitely showed a lot of potential.
And Paul Menard was Boris Said's Trans Am teammate several times last year on the road courses as well. That's Paul Menard in the blue Turtle Wax Menard Chevrolet, the 26. At the bottom, Norm Benning in the 84, first car of the lapped machines in line. Lead lap cars are up high, 77. This will be lap number 78 of 113. 35 to go this time by. We're back in the green.
Good clean restart.
66 car, Tony Ave in 2nd spot. Billy Venturini 3rd. Mark Thompson 4th. And here we go again, 3 wide.
3 wide's just a way of life here. It's not as unusual as some racetracks.
Are you okay if you're in the middle here, or do you need somebody with you?
You need somebody with you. I mean, if it's 2 rows, if it's a bottom row and a top row and you're in the middle, then you're really in trouble. If it's just 3, you're fine.
On board with Frank Kimmel, starting 9th. The green came back out. Get a sense of just how close you are in the draft here.
Scary close.
Kimmel with Christy Passmore directly in front of him. She's turned in a great run here today.
Good run for Christy Passmore right now.
She's been up in the top 5 a couple of times. Tony Ave in that yellow 66 and Billy Venturini side by side, and Paul Menard has to love seeing this.
Billy going underneath Paul Menard. Under Tony Ave for second.
See, Billy's done this long enough that he knows that's not a move that he really wants to do at this time, but he also knows that the 66 car, he's faster than the 66 car, and it held him up before, so he needs to make that move now if he can.
Yeah, but he's not getting any help from behind right now is what's happening.
Mark Thompson there in the black 48 alongside Christy Passmore. That's David Stremme in the Coors Light Dodge from the Chip Ganassi Stables, carrying the number 77, trying to push his way up into contention here as the laps start to wind down at Talladega. Huge wreck just a moment ago out of turn 4. Boris Said, Keith Seegers, Matt Hagens, Shelby Howard, a host of others, Kyle Busch involved in it. Everybody's okay, and we're back to racing now with 34 to go, and it's still Paul Menard, Ave, and Venturini, the top 3. Tell you, the fans who bought a ticket today have certainly gotten their money's worth here at Talladega.
Well, I mean, I keep saying it. I don't mean to repeat myself, but even with the wrecks and stuff, this is still a good group.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of cars in this group.
Very fast race cars, talented drivers up front, as we always see in the ARCA REMAX Series. Your leader continues to be Paul Menard. Ave in that yellow Pontiac. He may not have a fast enough car to lead, but that's not a slow race car.
No, that race car has been kind of hanging around all day today.
And Tony Ave is a very talented guy.
David Stremme's been stuck alongside of Mark Thompson now for 4 laps. If he can get around Mark Thompson, then he can fall in line behind Billy Venturini, and they can maybe push the 25 car past the 66.
As strong as Stremme was early, Ken Schrader, I thought he would be at the front by now.
Well, I think he is still that strong, but he hasn't. A lot of times you elect not to work with the strongest car because that instantly makes him the winner.
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of shuffle him when you get the opportunity, but I think that before this is over, David's going to be right up that first couple cars.
Very talented young driver, plenty of experience in ASA. And he started to race in the NASCAR Busch Series as a full-time deal in 2004 in the Busch Series with the 1 team in a Dodge. On board with Kimmel, still 6th. 81 laps are complete. We'll be right back. Speed at Talladega Superspeedway with Bill Venturini and Ken Schrader. I'm Rick Benjamin. Don Ray DeBaugh and Bob Dillner are on pit road. Glad to have you with us for the 20th race of the season. Championship about to be settled in the ARCA REMAX Series. But here, it's all about the race win. What a great battle. Tony Ave is second behind Paul Menard. Billy Venturini, a series regular, and Frank Kimmel have hooked up on the high side. David Stremme making a one-off start, and that silver Dodge on the bottom.
Yeah, we think he's got himself down that inside lane now. He might be a little bit better off. I just got to kind of think about poor old Frank Kimmel. Can only run like 6th or 7th right now, you know. You just know he's going to be there when the day's over.
Mark Thompson in the 48, that black Taurus right up there behind Stremme. Takes a look to the inside. 3 wide heading toward 1. Thompson gets by Stremme.
Yes, he did. Just a little bit out of bounds.
And the yellow line at the bottom here. Not supposed to go below that to make a pass. We'll see what happens. On the high side, there's Stremme, Ave, and Paul Menard's tire tracks, and they have raced against each other in road racing before. Keep that in mind. Here's Passmore in the 91. She continues to impress Bill Venturini.
Definitely is running 5th or 6th right now, but you can see Tony Ave and Paul Menard have kind of got a single file and starting to pull away.
Let's get more on Christy Passmore from pit road.
Well, I'll tell you what, if anything else, she is really starting to gain her confidence. Earlier, she made the bold statement to her crew chief, Bob Shack, by the way, and her tutor, that if she believes that if she could get hooked up with the Chase Montgomery car, she could go right to the front and stay there. Well, Chase is out of the race now, but she was clever enough to miss the accident. It happened right in front of her, but overall, she says it's been a real learning experience today, one that's kept her up front for most of the day, and right now she says she's getting more and more comfortable in the draft. Schrader is comfortable in the draft, a real live thing.
Well, I've been impressed with her all year, you know, and she's got some sprint car experience and stuff. She's a good little racer, and she's definitely showed that got some talent and is plenty capable of using her head and really driving a smart race today. So I think she's been very impressive.
Less than 30 to go at Talladega. David Stremme in that Coors Light Dodge from the Chip Ganassi stables. He and Mark Thompson side by side for third. Billy Venturini and Christy Passmore side by side, one row further back. And then that's champion Frank Kimmel up on the high side there on the 46. Back in about 8th spot. Good top 10 finish for Frank Kimmel. Will just about get the job.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There you see some of the cars. We've had a lot of cautions. That's Mark Gibson back on the racetrack after an earlier incident. Dickie Williamson there in the 7. He's been many laps down, way off the pace since the drop of the green in that Taurus. Leaders get by with no problem. Paul Menard had the fastest qualifying lap. The car was disqualified, had to take a provisional. Came from 38, got to 8th within about 10 laps in that car. Yep. They've had an oil problem. They've gotten that taken care of, and he's raced his way to the front.
We had a Busch race here last year where there was like 3 cars in the group most of the whole race after a major wreck. So to have this many cars in the group is huge.
And with 27 laps to go, a lot of attrition, but a lot of fast race cars left in the show. With Andy Petrie calling the shots from the top of the pit box, Paul Menard certainly has an advantage.
Well, Andy's just got a lot of experience. Like I said, he loves Daytona and Talladega. He's always concentrated a lot on those 2 particular tracks, and he knew that car would be tough when they unloaded.
Won championships with the late Dale Earnhardt. Worked with you for quite a while.
One race here with Harry Gant. Wow, little tight racing there.
Stremme and Tony Ave in that yellow Pontiac, the 66, look like they leaned on each other a little. Here's Venturini now, hooking up with Ave. The 2 Pontiacs nose to tail.
That's tight racing.
Thompson slips up, though, in front of the 25 to take third back away. No change up front. Still Menard. See Kimmel lurking back there on the outside in the Advance Pork 46 car. Let's ride down the back straightaway here at Talladega.
Yeah, I'm kind of quiet here, getting a little nervous watching this as we're getting 25.
I can tell but you're punching me in the shoulder, so I know you're a little concerned, and rightly so.
Well, you sit up here and you see these guys make their moves on the racetrack, and you know who needs to be hooked up with who to get to the front. And when you don't see the right cars get hooked up, it makes you a little nervous.
Top 3 starting to pull away once again. Menard is the leader in the blue car. This is for 4th. Christy Passmore right behind Billy Venturini. Leaders out of turn 2. We'll be back. Paul Menard out in front. Back on Speed, coverage of the ARCA REMAX Series. A reminder, every weeknight from 6 to 8 Eastern Time, it's NASCAR TV. All the news and information and action you need from NASCAR. All night, Friday night as well. NASCAR TV only here on Speed.
You see Frank waving his hand. What's happening is him and the 77 car have been side by side, and it's slowing him up, and the group's getting away from him up front. He's waving to him, get in line.
But he wants to get in line in front of Frank.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And there's, not a hole in the back, so it's not that simple.
Lead group of 10 cars has broken away.
Okay, we're in line.
Look at him dance down the backstretch here.
Well, you can see Billy Venturini's been able to run back up on the bumper of Tony Ave. He broke away from the David Stremme car, was able to run those 2 leaders down. But now he's back where he was 10 laps ago. Who do you go with?
Is it an advantage to be behind a similar body style? In other words, if you're driving a Pontiac, do you want to be behind another Pontiac?
The 2 Pontiacs run the best together. Now, Billy didn't run much with Tony Ave, but they were the fastest when he was running with Chase Montgomery.
Who is behind the wall with the broken wheel bearing. Now, Christy Passmore up to 4th in the 91, the gap moving car. Mark Thompson right with her. Here's David Stremme in that Dodge, the 77 car going to the bottom. Stremme trying to race through on the inside. Frank Kimmel says, okay, I'll join the fun. And here he comes up behind Stremme. Everybody chasing Paul Menard. Coming up on 20 to go. Tony Ave runs second. Billy Venturini takes a look to the high side on Ave.
He needs help. He can't do it by himself. He's going to need some help to get around him.
Christy Passmore about 2 car lengths back. How close do you need to be, Kenny, to help the car in front of you?
She needs to close up.
Oh, yeah. If you optimum, is a couple feet. They get a lot closer than that sometimes, but when you get car length or a little bit more back, it's not doing as much. It's still helping, but it's not as much. When you look up there and you can only see their helmet, you can't see any hood, that's a good thing when you look in your mirror.
3 wide into the corner. Paul Menard gets the opportunity to pull away. Billy Venturini now with Stremme side by side for second spot. Kimmel on the bottom, a 3 wide group battling for fourth. Ave slipped back. This is where big track experience may hurt Tony Ave. Lack of experience.
The lack of experience.
Coming up on 20 to go. Lots of time at Talladega.
Oh yeah. You can see right now, Paul Menard's running by himself, and second and third place car, Billy Venturini and David Stremme are running side by side.
Backed by Chuck Weber from Mesquite, Texas, in that orange and white number 24. Menard has opened up about 7 car lengths, let's call it, as they head to turn 1.
Yeah, that's a good thing for Paul and a bad thing, because as soon as they do,
they'll and they get back in single file, they'll have the momentum to maybe catch him.
They'll run him down quick.
This is from Frank Kimmel's machine. Look out the right side window, the dog's eye view. Down the backstretch. Kimmel tucked in behind Ave in that yellow Pontiac.
And they've all left Billy Venturini hung out to dry on the outside line right now. Here comes Mark Thompson, though.
David Stremme races to second. Ave and Venturini are side by side for third. Kimmel and Thompson back there for fifth. And Dickie Williamson in the 7 looks like he's out of power this time. Below the yellow line, should be headed to pit road. He's had problems since the drop of the green in the Southern Pavers 4. No caution showing. Leaders in 2.
Do we know for sure that everyone in here is okay on the fuel?
I would think during that last long caution for the wreck up in 4, I would think that most of them, if not all of them, got the fuel they needed.
Okay.
I'm hoping so.
That happened with about 38 laps to go. So.
All right. Yeah, we'll be fine then.
Menard is your leader. David Stremme moves to second.
When you're a driver, like right now, at lap 93, so 20 laps to go, it's like, man, why do we even got to run these next 17 laps? Let's just get to them last 3, because that's when everything's going to shake loose,
Hit the fast forward button.
Yeah, hit the fast forward.
Venturini in the blue 25 car.
Hoping for some help here. No one's going with them.
By the wounded car, Mark Gibson, who won at Atlanta earlier this year in that 59. He was involved in an earlier big incident up in turn 3 with the 5 of Bobby Gerhart, who started on the outside pole today. Kimmel is 5th. Everybody chasing Paul Menard. 20 to go at Talladega. 95 laps complete. Our Gladiator Pit Stop of the Race Award goes to the Andy Petrie Racing crew. Turtle Wax Menard's team for Paul Menard. They had oil problems. They overfilled their dry sump tank, evidently. Stopped a couple of times to clean the car up, stop the leakage, and allow the race to continue in safe conditions. And for that, we award the Gladiator Garage Works Pit of the Race Award to Andy Petrie Racing and the 26 team. So they are certainly on their way to a wonderful day here today. Paul Menard searching for his first career ARCA REMAX win. He's just made a handful of starts, looking very strong. But David Stremme making his first ARCA REMAX Series start right there in second spot. And that Chip Ganassi team, they've certainly given him a good hop.
Oh, most definitely. And David's been bouncing around all day. Third to sixth, and just trying to figure out. He hasn't been patient enough because he wants to go. And it's got him in a little bit of trouble, but he's got himself right up in the right position now.
Thought we might see a caution. Dickie Williamson had stopped on the apron at the entrance to pit road. Didn't look like he could get to pit road, but we stayed green. Billy Venturini jumps in front of Ave now, and this may help.
Well, see, he needed help. Billy Venturini needed help, and Frank Kimmel pulled behind him, and that's the help he needed to move past the 66 car for Tony Ave.
Stremme started up the banking to try to block the 25, but Venturini quickly goes around him and moves to second spot.
Well, see, he had the momentum. That's what we're talking about. He needs to drop in, but spotter didn't clear him quick enough. Now he's going to get freight trained right back again unless somebody pulls up behind him.
Kimball's back there, but he's too far back. Ave's going to go to the bottom. Oh, and Stremme almost runs him below the yellow line. Christy Passmore there to help. So far, no word of any penalties for being out of bounds.
Yeah, he's just a little bit. Whoa.
Christy
We're
Passmore.
tight
Stremme.
racing.
Yeah, I don't think you could have fit a sheet of paper in there.
No.
High side, Venturini in the blue 25. This is Kimmel right behind him. This is so rare in the recent history of the ARCA Remax Series at Talladega to see 10 cars bunched up at the end.
Yeah.
Great racing. Menard continues to lead, 16 to go. And Ave back to second. He was back to 8th. That's what happens at these events. You get to the front, you go in the wrong, you make the wrong choice of lane, or you don't have enough help, and you're at the back of the pack. And now Ave's worked his way back toward the front, with Christy Passmore and Stremme behind. What a great day for Christy Passmore. Just her first full year in the ARCA Remax Series.
Top 10 in points. I mean, just good, solid year. And you just learn so much in a full season because of all the different size and type and surfaces and tracks they go to.
2 dirt track races certainly helps. How about this? Kimmel on the high side has no help out there. Rookie Bill Eversole has gotten by. He's in 6th. Also up in the mix is Keith Mert in the 19.
Stremme was down under the white line and wiggled when he came back up on the racetrack.
Stremme going for 3rd inside Passmore, who's all alone up high. I'll put lap 99 on the board, and there's smoke showing after some contact between Stremme and Passmore. Second time they've touched.
Well, I think Billy got into the back of the 77, and then the 77 and Christy got together.
I'm not so sure that Stremme doesn't have some body work rubbing. They hit again. Frank Kimmel back there watching, wanting to make sure he picks the right line. Yeah, there's definitely a tire rub on the 77.
Yes.
So David Stremme's opportunity to win may be gone. Kimmel tucks in behind Passmore. Look at the damage on the 91 car. Christie soldiers on. 13 to go next time by at Talladega. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Paul Menard is your leader. Laps are winding down. Wild action in the final 15, Don Radebaugh.
Waiting on the 77 car. He'll roll the Coors Light Dodge to a stop. Crew goes to work on the right side. He'll get right side tires, but this is, as you know, very costly at Talladega when the green flag's still waving. A green flag pit stop and may even, I understand, get a penalty for coming down pit road too fast. That's easy to do at Talladega, specifically when the green flag's still out. David Stremme down and away, but his chances of victory late are all but gone.
Well, it would take certainly a tremendous turnabout in the last dozen laps. Here's what caused the damage to the 77 car. We saw he and Christy Passmore get together 2 or 3 times. That was a hard hit, though.
Yeah, that was a hard hit. Definitely. And you get those fenders on those tires here, you've got to come in.
Yeah, you hear it said all the time, rubbing's racing. At this place, you don't want to be doing that.
No, rubbing isn't necessarily racing. I mean, it happens a lot. And the smaller tracks, it's more accepted. But here, you just don't need to be doing it.
On board with Kimmel, he's going to watch as Billy Venturini in that blue Pontiac, the Alabama Auto Show car, goes high. They're 3 wide down the backstretch. Here comes Bill Eversole, the rookie in the 08. And we're told that a black flag is going to be shown to David Stremme in the 77. He was too quick leaving pit lane. Meantime, 3 wide. Stremme is up high, but he is about to, if he hasn't already, gone a lap down. He's shown 15th, not yet shown a lap down, but I believe the leaders were about to put him a lap down. Christy Passmore, there is Stremme up high. Your leader is Paul Menard. 10 to go this time by. They're 3 wide for 3rd spot. Kimmel in the 46 manages to get by. Remember at the top of the broadcast, we told you of all the races Frank Kimmel's won in this series, and I believe it's more than 50 now. The 4 championships, he's never won here. In fact, has led only 2 laps 9 years ago. But Kimmel certainly with a good run going today.
Well, it shows why this is a championship team, when you can take one of your weaker tracks and run, wind up when it's close to the end of the race, put yourself in this kind of position.
David Stremme picking up another black flag, being too fast off of pit road after the stop to change tires. Mark Thompson in the 48, Christy Passmore in the 91. Side by side, that's Keith Mert and Bill Eversole. They're up in the lead group, racing for 6th spot right behind.
Yeah, this is, what those 2 lead cars really like to see is all that racing going on behind them, giving them a little bit of a run now. But Billy's back in 3rd. And I noticed one thing here. The last few laps, Bill, you haven't said much. You nervous or what?
No,
but I got black.
Yeah,
okay, no, wait a minute, Kenny. You made a comment. You said, well, I'm glad my car isn't in this mess here.
Mark Thompson and Christy Passmore rub on the backstretch.
Yeah,
I'm a little nervous here. Billy Venturini got shuffled all the way back to 8th and ended up running in one lap, about 2 laps, got all the way back up to 3rd.
I think there'll be a few more rubs before this thing's over.
Less than 10 to go. They're starting to shift out into single file formation, though. Up front, Menard continues to lead. Tony Ave second. Billy Venturini going for second, down into 1. Here's Keith Mert in the 19. Change for second spot. Venturini and Ave are side by side behind Paul Menard. Billy Venturini trying to close the deal. Ave goes way high.
Now, I'll tell you what, and I mean, you got Bill standing right here, obviously, but Billy's car has been stout all day long.
It's been that way all week.
What it's done is continuing, it hasn't just hung there, it's been able to get shuffled back and make it back, and that's what you need.
Well, he needs to stay right behind his 26 car for right now and not make a move for a couple laps.
Right behind him, though, Ave is third in the yellow 66. Kimmel now fourth in the 46. The familiar Advance sport the other white bean car. Christy Passmore, despite the several incidents of contact with David Strimmy, hasn't had to stop, and she rides in 5th position. 6th to Ebersol, 7th to Mark Thompson. Keith Mert is in 8th position. Laps are winding down. Less than 8 to go at Talladega. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back with more of the Food World 300. Welcome back on Speed. Paul Menard continues to lead, gunning for his first Super Speedway win. First win in the ARCA Remax Series. But Bob Dillner, is there an issue with fuel for the 2016?
Well, there is a little bit of a question mark for Paul Menard down here. In fact, the crew is holding a can of ether just in case they do have to come down pit road after they ran out of fuel, and they would be able to shoot that ether into the carburetor. But there is a question. I talked to Andy Petrie, and he says, man, we're going to be so close, we may run out of fuel on the backstretch after the checkered flag.
Mr. Schrader's here biting his nails. Of course,
well,
a lot of
and I'm over here pacing, right?
Feature racing. Yeah, the first and second place cars have guys up here with me who certainly have an interest here. You're committed, Bill Venturini. Your car's in second spot.
Well, it's not in my hands. It's in Billy Venturini's hands right now, and his and Paul Menard's and Tony Ave's and Frank Kimmel's, I think.
Kimmel up to 4th. Great run for that team as they bid for a title. Points as they run right now. Jason Jarrett back in 15th. Remember that Kimmel needed to gain about 100 points here today to lock up the title. Right now he would gain about 55. So with Charlotte, South Boston still to come, the championship would not officially be in Frank Kimmel's hands, although he certainly has a substantial lead. If he makes Charlotte and makes South Boston, he will win his 5th ARCA Remax championship.
See, the bad part about this whole deal is that we've got 6 laps to go, and this could be shuffled around.
Well, the 4 elite cars have broken away. 5th is Christy Passmore right now. 6th is Ebersol. Mert is 7th. Thompson is 8th. Then you've got a couple of other cars further back in 9th and 10th. So the top 4, I think, are going to settle this. What do you think?
I believe it's going to be the top 4 for sure, but I think one of the reasons you see that Bill and I may be a little more nervous, not as much that's that car that we got a connection with, it's just that we're both big-time loyal fans of the ARCA Series, and it's been a good race, and we wanted to see go 5 more laps and be a good, clean
I want this race.
That's what we want.
And believe me, if Billy Venturini finishes second, I'd be happy right now.
Of course you would, but you wouldn't be if you finished 8th. So what I was saying, was we just want to see keep going a good race like it has been.
Still Menard out in front, Venturini second, Ave and Kimmel. The top 4 starting to break away, Bob Dillner.
Paul Menard is not saying much on the radio. He is trying to concentrate, but his car owner, Andy Petrie, is. He keeps on reminding Paul, who is running his first race here at Talladega, stay on the bottom, protect that bottom. Don't let Billy Venturini go to the inside.
Now, we see guys pass up high, but do you have to be at the bottom here?
No, well, I've noticed Billy's been able to pass up high, and we worked on that in practice, but I don't think he can pass Paul Menard up high without help.
And what will happen is if Billy goes to the top, the 3rd place car, instead of thinking, his concern isn't, hey, let me make sure Billy wins this race. His concern is, hey, Billy's up. Let me try to get second. So that's what you got to remember.
Yeah, see, he's not going to try and help push Billy past the lead car, Menard, because then he's going to still finish third.
Yeah, he'll try to capitalize.
He'll try to capitalize on a move Billy is going to make.
3 to go this time by. An update from the Infield Care Center. That big wreck about 30 laps ago. Keith Seegers and Ken Weaver are awake and alert. They have been transported for observation to local Birmingham area hospitals. Certainly good news. That was a violent hit. Leaders in lap traffic now, and this certainly could play a part in what happens in the final couple of laps.
Big part. And Billy's really up high right now.
Tony Ave taking a look. Third in that yellow 66. See if he's got a chance to sneak by. Kimmel there in fourth spot, and it looks like Mark Thompson in the 48. No, that is not Thompson. He is not up with the leaders. Christy Passmore is shown in fifth spot. There goes the 80 car of McMillian from Virginia down the bottom. He was several laps down, and Stan Hoover's car.
See, that lap car 21 of Todd Bowser was perfect for Paul Menard. What he did was he used him as a pick, and then as soon as he got by him, he dropped down underneath him, which would hang Billy out to dry.
Venturini takes a look on Paul Menard through the tri-oval. 2 laps to go, 2 to go at Talladega Superspeedway. Just over 5 miles to settle it. I'm on board with the champion Kimmel, who rides fourth. It's Ave directly ahead of the 66. Venturini is second. Your leader is Paul Menard, who took over when Chase Montgomery had his problems and has led since then. Venturini takes a look to the bottom down the backstretch. Do you want to do it with the 1 to go next time, or do you want to wait for the final lap?
Yeah, I think if we wait till the final lap, which next lap is the final lap.
White flag will be in the air this time by. It's Paul Menard by 4 car lengths.
See, now Billy may be, if he's smart, like Pops used to do, he'd be laying back right now. So no, really. So now he'll get a run. He'll get a see just what he did. He pulled back, and then got a run. But he's going to need help to do it in the 66. Not been able to push him by.
Well, he tried. He took a look on Menard last time they came by the stripe. White flag in the air. Final trip around this 2 2/3 mile super speedway. Frank Kimmel goes looking for a place to run up high. Billy Venturini is second behind Paul Menard. Tony Ave, third spot, just his second ARCA REMAX Series start, second on the speedway, first time ever at Talladega for Ave.
Well, this is not what you don't want to try and go high. You want to try and go underneath him is what you want to do.
Is he faking high?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
Right now, I mean, it's going to be tough unless there's a fuel issue. But, those guys have all done an excellent job, but it's not quite over yet.
Through the tri-oval. Just getting to the point of the tri-oval right now. A couple of 100 yards to go at Talladega in the ARCA REMAX Series. And Paul Menard comes home the winner in the 26 for Andy Petrie Racing and Menards. Second spot to Billy Venturini. Third spot to the 66 and Tony Ave. Great run for that team. Fourth to champion Frank Kimmel. Fifth to Christy Passmore. Sixth is Mark Thompson. Rookie Bill Ebersole is seventh. Eighth to Keith Merck. Great run for the 19 team. C.W. Smith comes home ninth in the 42, and Greg Sark in the 38.
Can I take a breath?
Okay. Ice now.
I'm going to take a big, deep breath right now. I got to tell you, I'm sorry, folks, but yeah, I was a little nervous up here. Good run for everybody.
2 young drivers, both searching for their first career wins. Paul Menard comes up the winner. What does that mean to Andy Petrie Racing, Kendrick?
Well, I mean, Andy, felt so bad about the car being low going through tech the other day, and they've worked hard to put a full program together for next year, and they just bounced back and got it done.
And a win in the Food World 300 certainly helps that effort. Paul Menard waving to the fans. Great run for Venturini Motorsports. Billy Venturini comes home second. We'll have the stories when we continue. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway on Speed, the ARCA REMAX Series. The Food World 300 has just taken the checkered flag. First-time winner, Paul Menard, in his first start here at Talladega Superspeedway. He's got the helmet off, drove all the way around the racetrack to find victory lane, Kenny.
Yeah, they must have just a little bit more gas than they thought.
Yeah. He said he was going to run out of gas. Yeah, sure.
Big victory for Paul Menard and his family and for Andy Petrie Racing. Don Radeball.
It's a big moment for sure, and only his third series start. Paul Menard and all that's happened here this weekend is in victory lane at Talladega. Run the full gamut of emotions here. Your rear quarter panel a quarter-inch low, too low, and post-race or post-qualifying had to start last. Now you're first. How does it feel to be an ARCA REMAX Series winner at Talladega Superspeedway? Pretty good, I'm thinking.
Oh man, Andy Petrie and this whole Turtle Wax crew right here gave me the car.
How about that driver?
You know, my spotter up top, Steve Barkdale, was doing just as much driving as I was, telling me where everything was. And this is my first speedway, and I didn't know what to expect coming in, so I got a ton of help from everybody in this team, especially this guy right here.
Way to go. Great job.
It's awesome.
I want to thank Brad Smith for letting us. We're kind of using his number here to start this race, and he got hurt and there, couldn't run the car. So we want to say our thoughts are with him and hope he gets better there. He got burned a little bit from that qualifying incident, so we want to say hey to Brad.
How close were you guys on fuel?
I don't know. You have to talk to this guy here.
Pretty close. I mean, we had to figure pretty close.
Those cautions definitely helped us. But Brad, get well, man. Appreciate it.
And things are pretty well in victory lane as well, especially for Paul Menard and crew. To the booth.
Great win for that team, certainly, and Venturini Motorsports in second spot. Great run for
I'm not complaining. Yeah, we finished second.
Tony Ave with a terrific run as well for that team, the 66 car. And champion Frank Kimmel on his way probably to his 5th ARCA REMAX title, finishes in 4th position. Great run here at a track he still has not won at. Christy Passmore, great run for the young rookie, 5th position ahead of Mark Thompson. Rookie Bill Eversole in 7th. Mert, Smith, and Sarf, some names you don't normally see in the top 10.
Good run for Greg Sarf, finishing 10th.
A driver who this year has not even made all the shows, but certainly put a great effort together here this weekend. Brent Sherman was involved in a wreck, still gets 11.
And look at Jason Jarrett. Chased that car all day long. We're on a pit road, ends up 15.
Which should have insured him the Bill France Triple Crown award.
Hey, that's right. Good call, Kenny. Yep.
David Stremme in 21st. He was a contender to win up until the last couple of laps with all that sheet metal damage after he was tagged a couple of times by Christy Passmore. Boris said after the wreck with Matt Hagens, Ken Weaver, Shelby Howard, those are the drivers who were involved in the big wreck back about 50 laps short of the end. They're all okay, but had a lot of race cars pretty heavily damaged. And Chase Montgomery, who led much of the first half of the race, 31st after the wheel bearing failure. Mark Gibson, 32nd. He was caught up in a wreck early on as well. Jerry Middleton, first car out today in 41st. Let's get more of the stories from pit road. Bob Dillon.
Billy Venturini drove his heart out today, but your hands were tied a little bit at the end, weren't they?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, all my really good help kind of got took up and stuff today. Me and the 17 were phenomenal early, and I just was going to stick with him. I lost a couple spots because he got hung out, but we had made a pact that we were sticking together, and we would have, and then he got into the wall over there, so I lost my partner. And then the Cup guys, they'll hang out, these ARCA boys, in a second. And 77 hung me out countless times, so I knew I couldn't trust him. And 87 was decent to race with, actually. He ran me pretty good. And the 26, by the time I got there was no one behind me that could push me. I felt I had a faster car than the 26, but it was a great run. He did an awesome job. He held that bottom line. I got some runs. I tried everything in the world. I was dragging the brake half a lap trying to let him get away, and he didn't let me get away. He didn't let me let him get away, and it was a great run for the Alabama Auto Dealers, Pontiac.
After a tough month or so, this is what you guys really needed, wasn't it?
Yeah, man, we've had a horrible week. We tried everything to change our luck, and I guess it finally worked. I need to thank Brian Smith. He did a great job. I need to thank Alabama Auto Show. See, a new sponsor this week, so I want to make sure I get that right. And just the team did a great job. They never quit. I got mostly volunteers, and they're awesome. And I love them to death, and just proud to be finishing good again.
Billy Venturini, his second place run of the year.
All right. So Paul Menard is your winner. Billy Venturini still searching for his first win. It'll come soon if he keeps running like that the rest of the season. We'll be back with more at Talladega. Today's Speed Channel coverage of the ARCA REMAX Series has been brought to you by REMAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. And by Gladiator Garage Works. Gladiator Garage Works is the official garage of ARCA. Proud to announce the gladiator of the race today is Billy Venturini. Gladiator, it's time to rethink the garage. Let's get the thoughts of the driver who ran third today. Downstairs to Don Radebaugh.
Good idea, Rick. Tony Ave, nice run today. You were fourth at Chicagoland and third here today, and only your second series start. Pretty good day. How do you feel about it?
It was great. I really have to thank Walter Giles. We built this car in his garage at his house, and he just did such a good job. The guys at Pro Motor and Tex Racing and Jimmy Kitchen spotting up there made up a lot of spots for us. We got behind early because we were too hot, and then I pedaled my butt off to get back up to the front, and we just didn't have quite enough there at the end.
Well, he pedaled hard, and it paid off. Bob Dillner, what does Frank Kimmel have to say?
Well, Frank Kimmel saw a lot of the back bumper of Tony Ave at the end of this race, and one of your better runs here, wasn't it?
it's hard to believe because that wasn't by far the fastest car we ever had here. But had a lot of good help today. You know how that's the old story here. And Billy helped me a lot. I tried to help him at the end, just couldn't even keep up with him. And I got Mark Thompson helped me a bunch. But the Advanced Auto Parts car was it's pretty good. I think it was the best Ford Taurus all day. But hopefully ARCA will wake up and see how fast those Pontiacs and Chevys are and give us a little help.
So close to another championship, Frank.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I believe that probably locked it up. And that's pretty special. 2 races to go. And pretty neat for the Advanced Auto Parts Sport team. And great bunch of guys. We worked our butt off all year. And another top 5. And pretty happy with that.
Hey, not locked up just yet, but pretty close for Frank Kimmel. He will be the champion for ARCA this year.
I was going to tell you, tell Kimmel he's already got enough help from the Pontiacs. They already made us add money, quarter inch to the spoilers.
All right. That's enough. That's enough, you guys. Hey, hope you'll be with us from Lowe's Motor Speedway just outside Charlotte, October 9th, Thursday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Coverage of the Easy Care 150, the traditional season closer, but because of the rescheduling of South Boston 2 times, Ken Schrader, you'll get to try to defend your title up there after the race in Charlotte.
Looking forward to going up there and looking forward to being back in the booth with y'all at Charlotte.
After you qualify for the UAW GM Quality 500 that
yes,
night.
Sir.
So we'll look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for taking time to be with us today.
Thank you.
Bill Venturini, congratulations on a great run by your team.
Thanks for putting me up with
no
me
problem.
up here in the booth today.
That's right. I'll send you the bill for the ice on my shoulder when we get done here. Interesting, wild, incredible competition at times here at Talladega Superspeedway today. As always, when the ARCA REMAX Series unloads here in Alabama. Great run indeed for the new winner, first-time winner, Paul Menard, in car number 26. For Don Radebaugh and for Bob Dillner, for Bill Venturini and Ken Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for watching. We congratulate Andy Petrie Racing and first-time winner Paul Menard. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage from Talladega. We'll talk to you next time here on Speed.